Is it going? What's up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Happy Tuesday, everybody out there. It is time for another theme parking. I am very happy to be back in the state of Florida after a little bit of a journey. So I was surprising last week. So last week we still had theme parking. I live streamed from a hotel. The internet was like perfect, which I was shocked to find hotel internet that you didn't have to upgrade, had no problems with. And then we went to the Universal Kids Resort, which I will mention briefly some thoughts on that. And then we got home. So we drove home all day. It's like a 14-hour drive. And as soon as I got home at midnight, everyone's like, we can't wait to get in our own beds, walk in the house. And the AC was out. And it was like 89 degrees upstairs. I was like, I just want to lay in my bed. So yeah, so I slept that night without AC. And somehow, by the way, good luck getting an AC guy in Florida same day. In the middle of the summer, like you're about a week out. So I don't know what I did. I was able to fix it. It's still working. No clue how I did it. Anyways, AC's working and I'm kind of getting back into the back in the flow of things, so to speak. But that's where I'm at right now. So.
Now, real quick, Jared, the AC guys in Florida probably make pretty good money, I would imagine, right? These guys are probably making like.
Have you seen the South Park where they got the handymen? Are like the wealthy dudes. Have you seen that episode where they make fun because nobody knows how to do any handiwork anymore? Yeah, that's Florida AC dudes. I think they do pretty well. There's no motivation to get them out because they probably already have 30 jobs booked up that day. So I did call the guy and told him I fixed it and to still come because I don't know how long it's going to last. And he's like, I'll see what I can. I'm like, he'll probably get out here in like a month. It'd be my guess, but I have air conditioning. So if not, I would just be sweating right now. So, I guess it works out better for everybody. But we do have a great panel here. And everybody in the chat, thank you guys for being here. We got Kiki and Luca. We got JT Magnifi. We got Juliet with a 5 sterling pound. Says morning simulcast, Vash Sky, Capture the Magic, Orange Grove 55, Tommy Toon World, Skyliners, Skywatchers, and chat. Like, subscribe, and share. Yes.
And we got a lot of Tommy Toon love in the chat. We got John making it rain over here. We're making it rain with a Tommy Toon love. Let's go.
Listen, Tommy's an energetic guy. I appreciate it. I like when people bring the energy. I kind of be more mellow, but I appreciate it. We also got Candid Camper in the house. What's up, Candid?
Oh, man.
Got John Make It Rain. We got Remy D. We got Aaron Crims. All you guys, Storybook Sorcerers. Thank you guys for being here. And we look forward to hanging out with you guys in the chat. Before we get going here, I want to introduce my panel. As always, we have Mr. Orange Grove 55 here. Thank you for being here. And where can everybody find you?
Hey, you can find me right here on YouTube, Orange Grove 55, talking nerdy with all these fine gentlemen all the time, talking studio, theme parks, corporate talk, all that good stuff. And just excited to dive into all the topics. We got Tommy Toon, I think, first time on a theme parking live. Let's get it. Let's go.
Is it the first time? I can't remember. It may be the first time. If not, we'll just say it's the first time.
Yeah. I mean, he's done videos with us and lives before. I don't think he's ever been officially on theme park.
Well, you'll get your robe in the mail. So yes.
I'm officially inducted, man, into the theme parking Hall of Fame. Yeah.
Like Masters. You got it. We put it on you and take a photo. It's a whole thing. Don't worry about it.
Garb, drape, everything. Yeah. But no, it's good to be up here, man. You guys talk shop every week. I love it, man. You guys, this is the heavy hitters right here. Vash Sky, what's up, man? It's good to see you. OG in the house. Capture the Magic. I love it.
Absolutely. Well, thanks for being here. Where can they all find you? We'll go and do Tommy's intro now. Where can they find you out there? And what do you cover? Because you do. I know we're talking Halloween Horror Nights. That's right up your alley. That's getting ready to be a big time of year for you. I know you do a lot of food stuff too.
Yeah, I'm a big horror guy, so it's coming up. But food is my main topic. Theme parks is like a close second. But you know what? I just got back from Vegas, so I have a one-piece food review coming out on my YouTube channel at TommyToon_world. And then you could catch the reel I'm dropping at the same time on IG. All right, that's TommyToon_. That's that more day-to-day life.
There you go.
Love it. I
All
love
right.
it.
And Storybook Sorcerer says you'll get your golden cardigan in the mail.
So we'll wear it to D23. Oh, gee.
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
The Bob Iger edition, by the way. So
Yeah.
he's going to micromanage your life afterwards. It's kind of a mess, but anyways.
Oh, no.
What's up, Robert? Robert White. What's up, Robert? He's a good dude. And of course, we have Mr. Vash Sky here, as always. B-roll extraordinaire. Dude knows his stuff. Vash, where can they all find you? And where are you at on subscribers now? I'm guessing 20,000 at this point.
No. It's like 11.4 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Just about there. We got some growth, but
I jumped the gun. My bad.
it is crazy how explosive it has been, and that's only thanks to Jared from Capture the Magic, Orange Girl 55, and some Tommy Toon as well. Right there, people love you guys, and obviously they find me and they're like, hey, that guy's pretty cool too. So I really do appreciate all of your guys' support. Very much appreciate that. But Vash Guy Parkcast, we just had a tremendous live stream yesterday talking about the soft opening of Fast and Furious and getting firsthand reactions and accounts from people who have actually written it. We went over the POV, and that was really, really cool as well. Tomorrow, right there, we're going to be talking about this Rivers of America thing in which a cast member just decided to just dive right in there. We'll dive right into it here as well. We'll break it down even further and some more theme park stories from around the globe tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern following that Park Place. So you can catch me at Vash Sky Parkcast. There you go.
I feel like I need that type of music when I walk into rooms where it's just all of a sudden like, well, who's that? And they're just like, I don't know, but it's important. That guy seems cool. We are going to talk about that. Apparently, that guy got really hot and decided I'm just going to jump in some water on the clock, I guess. I don't know. The more I talked to Vash about it, and I'm like, that's a weirder story than I initially actually even heard. Like, it actually gets a little wilder the more you hear of it. So it's kind of like Inception. It's a story within a story, maybe. But to get things up, we're going to talk about we got Comcast earnings call. We're going to talk about and what does that mean for this new spinoff coming up with Universal? Very interesting stuff. Talk about some Halloween Horror Nights announcements and potential. Not an announcement. I think pretty much if you're paying attention to this stuff, we know probably at least for Orlando the last house that's going to be named. But we'll talk a little bit about that. Of course, the Rivers of America. The guy taking a little bit of a dive in there, and then we'll also talk a little bit about. Fast and Furious, obviously. So Fast and Furious soft opening. We'll talk about that as well. But one thing we're going to kick off with just shortly here, and if you guys want more of an in-depth review on this, you can go over to CTM Podcast with my wife and I. We went to the Universal Kids Resort and spent an afternoon there. And I was just going to mention a little bit of my thoughts and if anybody had questions or whatever. But one thing I will say about this park, the internet overreacted because our experience here, now I'm not saying that there wasn't some theming elements that couldn't have been improved, but I actually found this park to be actually like for what it is for the age range of the kids, which my son is 7, my daughter's 10. They had an absolute blast, and it was actually a really cute park. Very small. It's like 30 acres. Although the day we went was extremely hot. It was like 103 degrees. I think it got up to 104 degrees. And I will just say this. I'm used to the heat, but that Texas heat is a little different. It hits you hard. And I didn't heed my own advice, and I almost got a little too hot. I had to take a break midday because I got a little dizzy, and I was like, "Oh, I haven't drank enough water today," and I had to catch up myself there a little bit. But no, it's actually like we spent probably 5 hours here, and the kids had a good time. The rides actually were a lot more thrilling in some of the areas. They definitely have some rides for kids older than like they got rides for the little kids, like little preschoolers, like kindergartners. And then they also have some rides that are probably, my daughter and stuff like that. And there were some rides that she wouldn't even do. The swings of that Puss in Boots swing, she kind of chickened out on that one. She was like, I don't think so. Because it's a little bit more intense than I even thought they'd have for that park. But
hey, you know what? I don't blame her because I'm I'm a grown ass man, and we have exactly pretty much the same ride out here in California in DCA with the silly symphony swings. I don't touch that thing, bro. I'm good. I'm good. I don't touch it.
And she was like, I want to do it. So it rises up and then it tilts and then it goes. And she was like, maybe not. And I was like, whatever you want to do. So she didn't do that one. But the Jurassic coaster that they have in the kids area there was a little bit more intense. It's kind of like Flight of Hippogriff, but a little more intense than that. So they actually had some pretty decent attractions. I thought the theming was fine. Lack of shade, though, is real. Aggressively undershaded, I will say. So if you're going to go out here, try to go on not a hot day, bring an umbrella maybe, because there's no relief from that sun unless you go into a building. That is one thing about this park. But I think it's got some good bones. And for what it is, like, if you're within 4 hours of this park, I would say it's worth going if you've got kids of that age. But if you're an adult or you're way away from here, nowhere near worth coming here. Like, I asked my son, he liked it. Okay, do you like it more than Magic Kingdom? And he was like, no. I was like, what about Epic Universe? He's like, no. I was like, what about Epcot? And he was like, yeah, I like it more than Epcot. And so our kids are used to the bigger parks. Like, they had a good time, but we'll probably never go back considering what this park is, a regional theme park. But overall, my wife and I walk around and we're like, what was the internet so mad about? And maybe they added some stuff since the media previews, but there was a couple, like the one area that kind of looks like the LA River is still there, but everything else around, that was one part of it, but everything else around it was well themed. So I was like, I'm not saying there's not things that could be improved upon, but I definitely think there was quite the overreaction to some of the footage and images that kind of came out of that.
Well, and here's the thing too, and I've said this many times, and this goes for these smaller parks as well. The biggest obstacle, the biggest hurdle with any of these new parks is just getting the thing built.
Yeah.
Getting the thing built is the biggest hurdle. Once you have that thing built, you can go in there, you can add trees, you can add new attractions, you can plush, you can expand, right? I mean, look what happened with DCA. When DCA opened, DCA 1.0 was pretty bad. I mean, it was not great. I mean, Dre, right? It was rough.
Oh, but, no. Very not good.
It was not good. But over time, they added, new lands, Cars Land, Buena Vista Street, Mission Breakout, World of Color. Now we're getting, we have Avengers Campus, that expansion, Pandora, like it grows, right? This is the same kind of situation where it's like, okay, 1.0 of the Universal Kids Resort. All right. It's okay. Right. But as the years go on and as the trees grow in and as Universal adds more foliage and shade coverage and more attractions, it'll get better with time. I actually, you know what? I went to Legoland out there in Carlsbad with Webba and his lovely wife, who's awesome. I love her. She's great. And also Alan, Almighty Coasters. And we had a ball out there, man. And it's not our demo. We're way too old for that shit, bro. But like, it was fun. We had a good time though. So sometimes these parks are still, even for us, you can get something out of it, so.
Oh, for sure. And like Remy D asked, where'd it go? He asked, what was your favorite ride? Honestly, the one that was actually a lot of fun that I did not anticipate, they have that, that like spinning drop tower type thing, but it's like, it kind of goes in intervals. That one, you got your money's worth. It probably went for like 3 minutes. It was actually a lot of fun. Like, it'd drop you up high and then drop you low and go around. That one and the Jurassic Park coaster were probably the more fun rides there. But I mean, there's definitely stuff here. Like, they got play areas for like really, really little kids. Our son loved the Jurassic Park area, the climbing over stuff. A lot of this is very similar to DreamWorks Land. You can definitely tell that that's where they got the inspiration. I will say right here in this spot you're looking at, I don't understand why they have all that wasted space with the water though. Like, it just sits there. But that ride, we didn't get to ride that big water ride because it had an hour-long wait and it was like 103 degrees. And I was like, you know what? We're good. So we didn't ride that, but we did everything else here. And like, you can ride everything here easily within half a day. Though I will point out the park operations are exceptionally slow, like horribly slow unloading and loading. And it may just be because they got little kids. I don't know if that's why, but that was like, they were actually spraying seats down with misters because they said the seats were getting up to like 180 degrees. So they were spraying stuff down so they wouldn't get too hot. So heat's a real thing. I get why they built it here because Frisco is a booming area. There is so much construction. Like where this sits right now, there's really not much around it. We stayed at a Holiday Inn Express that was like 8 minutes away, and really like there's nothing around it. It was like a brand new hotel, but there's all sorts of construction around the whole area. So they're going to build that thing is going to be surrounded by other businesses. It's got probably like Disneyland. It's going to have a bunch of stuff built around it that is going to, fit into it. So I think for Frisco and that surrounding area, it's a really good addition. I saw every kid I saw in there was having a good time. You can get beer if you're a parent, it's hot, you go dip into places. So it's like a half day park. I wouldn't make an adventure out of it. I wouldn't make you don't need 2 days here, but for what this is, I thought it was fine for a regional park of the kids of that age. Rudy says, how would you rate against Legoland? I think to me, it rates closer to Peppa Pig Park, which is part of Legoland. I actually think the theming was better than Peppa Pig Park, but very similar. Like,
let me ask you something, Jared. So I got like 3 or 4 questions I'm going to combine. 1, how crowded was it? 2, what food did you eat? Did you have any themed food? Did you try the Goofy Goobers from SpongeBob? 3, was it too hot for characters to be roaming around? Did you see Shrek or anything?
It was too hot. So they didn't have character meet and greets because of the temperatures. So they did have, and they have some shows. They didn't run shows that were outdoors because I think they said if it gets over 103, they have to shut down some stuff. So they had multiple rides that were down due to the heat. So character meet and greets weren't there. It wasn't that crowded, I think, because of the heat. Because I think anybody that lived there was like, I'm not going to a theme park when it's this temperature right now. So it wasn't crowded, but there were still people there. Like as the day went along, there were more people than I kind of anticipated there being there with the heat that day. I had a chicken. We went and ate at the Jurassic Park. They call it the Jurassic something canteen. And so I had like a chicken skewer thing. I didn't have much of it because that's when I sat down for lunch is whenever all that hit me about like I got a little dizzy and I realized I'm like, oh, I'm dehydrated. Because what I noticed it on was and this is kind of how heat stuff hits you. I was totally fine. My daughter and I rode that coaster and they got this little corkscrew area and it did the corkscrew. And my wife gets motion sick, and I never experienced this, but my head felt heavy. I was like, "This feels weird," and I'm not used to that. So then, by the time I sat down, I kind of started to tunnel a little bit, and I was like, "Oh, damn, I'm in trouble." And so I was like, I got some water, and I just started drinking water, and I was like, "I'm not getting up from here until I have to pee." And I drank about 5 big old, like probably 24-ounce things of water. Wow. And then I finally had to pee, and I'm like, I'm an idiot because I realized I'd only had an energy drink, and that's all I'd had the whole morning. I didn't have anything else. And because when you travel, you get when I get home, I drink a bunch of water in the morning, and then I work out, and so like I was just off my schedule.
I agree, though.
Yeah, so I had the energy drink. I didn't even think about it, and then it hit me. So that was a dumb thing on my part. But outside of that part of it, just the heat, the park's fine. Like, yeah, it's not going to compare to like an Epic or a Magic Kingdom or a Disneyland, but that's also not really what it's supposed to do.
No, so, exactly.
Yeah.
Now the heat stroke thing or the heat problems. I have a funny story actually for that. Like this was a while ago. I was actually dating this girl. Her name was Connie, and she went to UCI out there in Orange County, and I was actually staying in her dorm like for like the week, right? And we were just chilling. And anyway, like she drove. We went to the beach. And dude, it was hot. It was like one of these it was like 100 and something, right? And I wasn't really drinking anything. And I started to get really like you were saying, like dizzy, and I got like nauseous, man, right? Yeah. And so I tell Connie, I'm like, I don't think I can do this. Like I'm feeling like crap. I got the sweats. I'm dizzy. I'm nauseous. And she's like, okay, well, let me get you like an orange like Shasta, like an orange soda, So I'm like, okay, thanks. So we got one of those, and I was drinking it, and we were driving back to her dorm, and she had like a white car, like a white Honda or something.
Oh no,
bro! I had a barf, and like I rolled down the window, dude, and I just threw up in the whole side of her car, dude. Yeah, thankfully the outside orange, bro. It was kind of on brand. Like before OG55, it was on brand,
That's what gave me the idea. There's like orange. Wait a minute. I can make this work.
Wait a minute. This can actually, Yeah. I felt bad. She was cool, but like, that was awkward.
Yeah. Well, and it's not fun. Like I was so focused on like when it gets that hot, I'm always trying to make sure the kids have enough water because like kids can overheat really, really easily. And so I was just like, and I wasn't really focusing on me. And then once that hit me, I kind of like. I didn't have the nauseous part, but it was close to it. And then I had, that part where you start panicking because I was thinking like, oh gosh, I'm going to get medical attention. I was like, and literally my internal monologue is because I'm a psycho. And I was just like, quit being a baby, drink some water. You're freaking fine. And I'm like, okay, fine. So I'm literally having this internal monologue with myself. My wife's like, are you okay? And I'm like, I will be, but not really. And she's like, what? I'm like, just give me 10 minutes. And so I knew how to fix it because I caught it early enough, but it was not my finest moment by any means. But yeah, it's like I said, like you can see the picture, like a lot of the theming is cool, and like the rides fit the demographic, and I think they'll add on. I've heard they may add on a water park here, which probably would be very needed. But I did get some In-N-Out while I was here and some awesome barbecue, and so I was pretty happy. And In-N-Out's so good. I forgot how good it is, and now that I love onions, I love animal style so much more. I was like, I really hope In-N-Out comes to Florida because I thoroughly enjoyed that. But
bro, how I still to this day do not understand how do they not have an In-N-Out at DCA? You have a whole park dedicated to the theme of California, right, Tommy? I don't get it, bro. Like, come on, man.
They would make all the money if they did that. They should definitely do it. But excuse me, but overall, like I think it's a solid park. I think they'll continue, and I think stuff like this, it'll flush out more. And like you said, they get the shade stuff fixed here. It's got good bones, and so I think it'll be a good thing. And I think they'll continue to do them. So, I'm not dying to go back, and our kids aren't really, they're not going to want to travel all the way to Texas to do this. But if there was one within a couple hours, like, yeah, we take the kids every once in a while to go here. Like, it was fun. Even our daughter at 10, she's kind of too old for this, but she still had fun. Like she did some stuff, and a couple of the rides she was even, she wanted to do the swings, but she actually did want to go walk all the way back there again at the end of the day. And I was like, that's fine. So, but yeah, so that's a little bit of the kids resort. Like I said, if you want a full review of this, we go into really big details about all this. You can go check out CTM podcast with my wife and I. That episode came out today. And we talk about it at length. So if you're curious about that, go check that out there, and you can find some more information about how it went, what we thought about, and everything like that. But before we jump into our other story, though, we do have a couple of super chats. We got a 5 from Ill Magic. Thank you, Ill Magic. Says, sup, guys? How's everything? I want to let you guys know I got back from Orlando, and my God, the Epic Universe was amazing. Awesome. I'm glad you had a good time, man. Glad you had a good time. I wonder, did you? Epic's awesome. It has its issues. I know Epic has some problems, but I do love that park. And he also had another 5 here. He says, my favorite rides in Epic is Monsters Unchained and Stardust. Monsters is good. I lost count on the amount of times I kept getting on the Monsters Unchained ride. That's the one thing about that park is that ride is a champ, and it moves people through it, and you can ride that thing multiple times.
I don't know what it is. I don't know why, but you could just fly through it. Yeah, it's lit. I mean, you would think because it's horror, but I mean, the line's usually still pretty long, but like you said, they get them through, man.
It's kind of that load station.
Arms, huh?
Yeah, that load station is massive. Like it's the same ride system as Forbidden Journey. So if you've been on Forbidden Journey, like it's a very small area you get onto. This is like, I mean, you've been on it, Tom. I'd say 4 times the size of that little thing. And so when you probably have, I would say 6 Kuka arms you get on at the same time. It's got rotating things. So like it just moves people through it. So and it's a great ride. So just because it has lower wait times actually doesn't mean it's not in demand. It just moves people through, which that park needs more rides like that. But I'm glad you had a good time though, man.
Hey, Jared, because I know you and I, we've been trying to eat healthy. Well, you've always been eating healthier, but I'm lately trying to eat healthier. But and John is saying that he wishes they didn't use sunflower seed oil. And that's a big problem. That's a big problem with eating out is that a lot of these places use seed oil. And there's a lot of evidence now that those seed oils are not good for you. So
I've always kind of avoided them just when I heard about how they were manufactured. Before I'd heard any evidence of it, I was like, that just doesn't seem like that's good for you to ingest. I do wish that more of them use beef tallow. I think, doesn't Steak and Shake use beef tallow? I think I think they redid everything and now they use beef tallow. So I would like to see it, but I don't eat out that much, to be quite honest. But go ahead, Vash.
And did we get Juliet in Rock Blazers?
We got,
just want to make sure.
Yes, but I didn't get Rocks. Rock Blazer 12 for a 5. Thank you, Rock Blazer. I feel like that's a hard name. Rock.
Yeah.
Says, before anything else, let's take a moment to pour one out for the upcoming closure of Kumba at Busch Gardens, Tampa. Last day to ride is Sunday. I don't know much about this ride, but listen, pour one out for it. It's never a good one to ride.
Absolutely.
I've heard of the ride, but I don't know. That's a coaster, right?
Oh, absolutely. B&M Classic right there. One of the first that they ever manufactured out there in Busch Gardens, Tampa Bay. Really, really sad to be losing this because I know it's a fan favorite, especially in the Orlando and Florida area right there. A lot of memories attached to that. I think it goes back to 1993, if I'm not mistaken. And there were some rumors suggesting that maybe it would get a retrack, maybe it actually does go away. Unfortunately, Busch Gardens actually announced that a few days ago, and the theme park community a little broken up about it. I agree.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, I don't like it. We've lost enough good attractions over the years. We don't need to lose any more. But Candid here, I feel like why do I feel like this is like a dig by Candid? He's saying something nice, but I kind of feel like it's sarcastic. You know what I mean? I just get the feeling that he doesn't really mean that. But if he does mean it, thank you. But I just assume there's sarcasm at all times. But Rogue Attraction says theme parks should be required to have nutritional facts online. Yeah, you can take a pretty good guess. Like I'm gotten pretty good at guesstimating calories and such. Or if you just if you get a burger, you just take the bun off and just have the protein. I kind of do that a lot in theme parks, especially like you get a bunch of like sugary snacks all day and you're just like, I could do without the bun. Like I'll just have the meat here and save some carbs there. But and Candid says keep you guessing.
Yeah, he keeps us on our toes, man. We do a fun show like Candid and I on my channel. It's like an after dark thing. It's like late night, right?
Yeah.
And
Are we doing it on Friday?
We can. Are you down? I'm down.
I think you messaged me about doing one on this. I thought, it's Thursday.
Thursday. Yeah, I'm down. Like, let's do it. Yeah, I wasn't aware about it. I love that show. And Candid said OG loves the bun. I love buns, bro. Come on. I'm a buns guy, dude. Come on, you know that.
Which one we don't know. This stream's all full of innuendos, but so yeah, we'll figure that. But that is a fun show because Candid, I wish he would share his opinions more. If I'm being honest, I kind of wish he wasn't so just say.
He's very shy, but we have to sort of like encourage him.
Yeah, get him out of his shell a little bit.
Right.
Yeah, good for him a little bit. We also have a 199 here from Connor Donna. Thank you very much. Says pour one out for Supercharged. Yeah, I'm not sad to see that one go. I mean, you can still pour one out for Dom and the fam, but I can't say like if you're like, are you sad to see this go? Like, no, I'm being respectful. Like, I'm just being nice to the ride because I just wanted to stay away, really. But all right, well, we'll talk more about that here in a little bit, probably. Let's talk right now about. It's always fun to talk about earnings reports, guys. I love earnings reports. Comcast had an earnings call earlier. It was last week, correct? Yeah, I got my weeks all messed up. That earnings call, obviously, right now, Comcast, obviously Universal Parks and all that is part of Comcast. They are going to spin this off into its own company, which brings this all into a very interesting light, which I'm sure we will talk about. And in their earnings call, essentially what they go into some of the broadband stuff. Actually, Peacock was profitable, which is pretty impressive given what that streamer is. I think a lot of that was due to sports, though. So we'll see if they're able to maintain that. The theme parks, essentially, they were up about 2.5% on their revenue. They were down a little bit year over year on their profits. And some of that, I think, goes into, you got construction expenses, Epic Universe expenses, things like that. And they even mentioned in their earnings call about the softness of June. And I don't think this is going to come as a surprise to anybody who's been paying attention. Both Universal and Disney World, even Blog Mickey had an article, and I did a video yesterday talking about why is Disney World so empty this summer. And, they kind of alluded to this. So what do you guys think about this earnings report specifically? And then we can talk about more of the softness of the summer, perhaps. But for me, I will say I was actually kind of assuming, I was a little surprised to see revenue was still up because you got to remember they're coming off those quarters of Epic. So at least they didn't fall down on the revenue side, I suppose you could say, but obviously the profit side. But what do you guys think about Comcast earnings call and all this leading into a spinoff with lots of question marks around it?
Yeah, it's really quite interesting to examine these earnings because, revenue up, but EBITDA a little bit down, and that's not really great to see right there. I do appreciate the candor about them actually talking about that their the summer was a little bit slow for them, at least the early part of the summer. That is, we'll have to see what Q3 and Q4 actually bring out when it comes to the theme park division under NBC Universal. And you mentioned that split right there. That's really crucial, because I think a lot of investors are looking to find out whether or not this whole split is actually going to be profitable by itself, what partners they might actually partner up with. We did see that Peacock is joining forces with YouTube Premium, that is, and that's going to be very, very interesting to see what that's all about right there, because Peacock actually recently did hit profitability, as was demonstrated by this earnings call right there. So that's very, very interesting to note. I'll say this about summer. I mean, the domestic tourist has been shifting for the last 20 years or so outside of the summer months for both Universal Studios and for Disney. We can see that in the data. It's just been trending in other places. And I think as the expenses come up, right, as people are looking at their vacations and saying, ooh, do I really necessarily want to dump down $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, maybe even more for a big time vacation with the family if we're only going once a year, once every 5 years, once every 10 years during the very hottest part of the season when it comes to Florida? It's like, maybe I'll go ahead and ship my vacation. And I think that's what we're seeing right there. I think that's what we're seeing with a wide variety of different theme park proprietors, actually, which is very, very interesting. It's just a lot to go to these parks while they're very, very hot versus, hey, I can go in the wintertime, maybe have a better time. Maybe perhaps a lot of the attractions are open. Maybe there's some entertainment offerings that I actually want to see during the Christmas time and so forth. So I'll just go ahead and go then. I think that's what we're kind of seeing there, macro. This might also have economic implications, right? We might also be seeing, hey, gas prices during this particular time are up or whatever, or maybe some discretionary spending isn't necessarily available to the widest subset of consumer. I do think we might be seeing that as well. So, and, well, let's be honest, right? There are some deals that these theme park proprietors are giving out, so perhaps revenues are up, maybe EBITDA is down because of some of those deals. I think we're seeing all of that and more. Like you said, Jared, it's not one thing. It's like 9 different things, all creating this witch's brew of different travel patterns.
Yeah. Jared, you and I did a great video like a couple days ago with the one and only Mr. Seymour Duck. Big shout out to Mr. Duck. We love Seymour. But he brought up a great point actually in that video where it's like Peacock is right now showing it's profitable, right? So it is kind of an interesting time, kind of soon for the spinoff. Like, because he made the point like a couple days ago, like, why not let it kind of get a little bit of its footing, and to kind of spin off immediately is interesting timing, right?
Yeah, it's one of we talked about. Yeah, we had talked about that too, where it's like I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea to do it, but the timing is just like. It almost seems very, and I think you had even said, Vash, this all came upon very quickly to determine the spinoff. So it's like, it seems like a reaction to something. And I had said during that video too, I feel like there's just something we don't know right now. Like there's some ingredient here that we don't know all the specifics of why they're doing it. Maybe it is to partner with somebody. Maybe it is maybe they feel strong enough about the parks and direction it's going that it's going to be fine. Like, but I just get this feeling that there's some other shoe to drop here that they just haven't mentioned yet, because I agree. It's just sort of weird. It's like, why now? Like, that's great that Peacock's profitable. And now can they maintain that is another question. And I'd even mentioned too, I think one thing you'll see from this, and I'll get your take on this as well, Tommy, afterwards, is are they going to, like, when you're looking at this, I'm like, damn it, I had a point. And then I interrupted myself to say I was going to get to Tommy. Tommy, you go ahead. I'll see if I can remember it. What do you think about this?
Well, no, I mean, I think Dre has a really good, solid point with all that. So I guess I'll touch on that a little bit just at the end. But I was going with that soft June, really, because what Dre said really hit me. These parks, everything keeps going up. I mean, Disney just raised the prices of a lot of foods and drinks today. And one of them's like mushroom risotto went up like 65%. Like, geez, it went from $29 to like $48 or something. I know that's not too important, but so like just going off of like what we were talking about, it's crazy because people have to pick where they want to go, for vacations and stuff. The kids just get out of school. And maybe theme parks aren't the first thing. And then you got to take accountability too. Like, what's going on in June? I mean, it was FIFA World Cup. I mean, everybody was tuned in for that. And, you know, people like to do free events a lot of the time. I mean, what happened with Universal? I mean, they let tons of people in City Walk to watch, you know, the FIFA event, and then they had to shut it down because, hey, we can't let everybody in. But, you know, I just think it's weird that the summer's down. It's funny when I look back at myself, I don't really go to Disney in the summer. I did this year, but normally I wait till the big events or the festivals. So, and then, you know, I did for Pixar Fest a couple years back, but, and then I just don't travel out to Florida in the summer either, because I'll probably melt to death.
Good chance.
Right. I have to do HHN, you know, eventually. Maybe we'll all roll out there for that. But, yeah, I'm not sure about that. But yeah, the quarterly earnings call, I mean, that Peacock stuff's crazy because you think I feel like they always been the lowest on the totem pole for like streaming and everything. And then now they're making a profit, turning around. And then, like you said, they're partnering with YouTube. It's like everybody's shifting to something. I mean, you just never know. I mean, UFC partnered up with Paramount. So I guess it's just always about building it so the younger generation can access it quicker, maybe. So I'm not too fond of, or, you know, I'm not too basing on like the numbers like you guys. I was just kind of branching off a little bit. But did you remember anything, Jared, what you were going to
I did remember what I was going to say because my brain just left me for a moment. I think one of the things I mentioned in that video with you, OG, is the fact that I think you're going to see a Universal be a lot more aggressive about monetizing the parks because of the spinoff. They're going to have to, and might already be seeing them do that with these after hours events. They're changing up Halloween Horror Nights a little bit. And then you look at as well, like one of the easiest things you can do for money is licensing deals. And this YouTube thing was the days after I mentioned that. I was like, I think now we don't know how much that was for. I'm very curious about those numbers, what that is for Comcast and for YouTube. But I think you could see a lot more third-party licensing deals because that's just easy money they can do to buffer this up. And so now, if you know, this is going to take about a year to do. How much can they build this up in a year? I guess is a really good question. Now, I guess to their defense, and both Disney as well, you know, the later months tend to do better. HHN, I believe, makes somewhere around 40% of the revenue for Universal. So, like, that's a huge event. You got Christmas time coming up. And I also think the prices being higher probably pushes this more for people not vacationing in the summer, because if you're going to spend all this money to go, why go when you're going to be miserable? Or why, even with all the construction going on at Disney, and obviously there's still some going on at Universal, a lot of people may just be saying, and I think this could hit Universal too in Orlando, where it's like, we want to go, but we're going to go and spend all this money once these things are done, and then we take a big trip. And so I think some of this, like you know, Vash was saying too, this is like 9 different things bundled up into it. Which percentages is it? I think there is a lot to do with more flexibility that people have nowadays when they can vacation. They're more willing to pull kids out of school, maybe more homeschooling, and people work from home more. So if you don't have to go in the summer, I don't blame you. Because that's what used to be. You just had the summer times to go, and that's when everybody vacationed. But, you know, we don't go to the parks that much in the summer. Like everyone, you know, like we did, obviously went to Texas. We'll go sporadically here, and it's like, it's just so hot, and I get it. Like if I was traveling for a week, I too would go in November or December. Like I wouldn't be going to these parks in July. And I can totally understand why people choose, unless you have something new that opens, what we saw with Epic. That was enough for get to people to go to that park in the summertime. Unless you got new attractions, the land's opening, I don't think you're not going to get people to come to your parks in the summer. And I think Disney's seen that as well, because last summer they had shows and parades. They had some stuff they pushed with refurbs and some stuff this year. That's not moving the needle. So it's like new stuff is what gets people in the parks. And, you know, Universal still has it. Epic's still new. They got new stuff coming, but Disney is going to be, you know, a little bit away before their stuff opens. And I think they potentially, I'm very curious about their earnings report. I kind of feel like they could potentially get hit harder than Universal, but I think either one of them are going to have very similar earnings reports, if I were to guess. But Disney does have that ability to have down attendance and still show more revenue. So who really knows?
Yeah. And then also Remy D brings up an interesting point, right? Because the Paramount thing with the Paramount Warner Brothers has been going through a rough patch. I don't know how it's going to end up, but it's been going through a rough patch for sure. But it says, based on the issues that Paramount Sky is having buying WB, Netflix might have another crack at WB. Universal won't be up for sale for another 2 years. That's interesting because I mean, I think the judge said that they have to wait now to move forward with this Paramount WB thing, and they got to wait a considerable amount of time. I think it's like June of 2027, I believe, or something like that.
Yeah, that's what they had said. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. I was kind of thinking, okay, this is going to be a sure thing, and there's going to be bumps in the road, but this is looking to be more significant than I was expecting, to be honest with you. And so who knows what happens with this thing? And maybe they do get another crack at WB. Maybe that may, like you were saying, Jared, there seems to be something that they're hiding with this whole thing. Like, why now?
Yeah.
And maybe this new spinoff company, this new Universal Parks and Entertainment company will end up merging with Warner Brothers, or maybe they'll end up merging with a Netflix or something. I don't know. I feel like there's something going on though, because remember, Comcast, they were in the room negotiating for WB.
Mm-hmm.
So, and they were in that room with Netflix and Paramount and all these, so you don't know what kind of like side quests, right? That maybe some of these executives were making, like, hey, it didn't work out for us, but why don't we do something? You just never know.
It's definitely possible. I have, if I were to guess, and I'm not saying I have all the answers, of course, I feel like this Paramount Warner Brothers thing goes through eventually, because you already had, I think, didn't the European Union okay it? I think they had okayed it, but before.
I think they might have been showing some resistance, but they might have okayed it. The thing about California is that, well, it's California. It's not necessarily, nationwide. So
Right.
As long as federal regulators say yes, I mean, we've already seen the threatening of taking headquarters into different places and so forth, and I don't think those are idle threats. And there's obviously incentive from Warner Brothers' side to do maybe a similar transaction in order to alleviate some of these issues surrounding this. So it's just, to me, it's kind of a question of when, not if. And yeah, of course, there are going to be different players, obviously, that don't actually want to see the combination of these two elements. But it's not as if Warner Brothers isn't going to find a partner to dance with. I think that's absolutely going to be a reality, and Paramount is showing that they're going to be the most robust play in order to make this happen. So, like I was saying before, it's a question not about when, not if, at least in my mind. And perhaps Universal is looking at that, right? They're looking at, obviously, OG brought up a good point right here. Comcast was in the room for a transaction like that, and it's just like, hey, maybe our media assets can't necessarily sit by themselves with so much consolidation actually happening, and so do we separate that off so that they can actually be a player in the game when it comes to consolidation of their own? That might be the way that they're looking at all of this. The other thing too I want to go ahead and bring up, because Mike Kavanaugh actually talked about the question of IP, of licensing, and so forth. Here you go. Our approach is to build a great business that serves our own platforms, but look for opportunities to partner, bundle, and exhibit other people's IP in our parks and create IP in our studios that go to other platforms right there. I think that's a good strategy for the collection of assets that we have, and I think that presents a path for growth in this business over time, so we're excited about what we have ahead. That's really quite interesting, doubling down on licensing of other people's content for their parks product. I think that's going to be a great avenue for them in order to draw up capital, right? In order to get people invested into their parks, so that they're not necessarily shelling out all that themselves. That's quite interesting indeed. And I want to go ahead and talk about a little bit of that summer, sluggishness, just a little bit right there. We know that 45% of parents with children under 18 go into debt for Disney, and maybe even theme parks, broadly speaking, right? So it's like, okay, if we're going to take on that debt, if we're going to take on that sheer investment, I think that's where you get a more discerning spender. Yep. One that's like, okay, like let's position ourselves during, these months instead of these months, right? The discretionary spending goes down. And yeah, I mean, you can see, like Tommy Tune actually brought out, a whole host of different price increases, and that goes above and beyond what was brought out a couple weeks ago, right? With I believe, like the snacks and so forth, right? At Disneyland. So we have potentially thousands of items that are included in this price raising type strategy. Consumers know that. And so they're going to change their habits accordingly. So I just wanted to go ahead and offer those points.
No, you're totally right. And I think, again, if when it was cheaper, let's say, whatever the price was, people might say, well, we'll go this summer and then we'll go when these things open. And now being so much higher, they're going to be like, well, if I'm going to drop 10K on a vacation, I'm going to wait to get my money's worth. And I think that is something that definitely pushes that. And then I think with the locals in Florida, at least, most of them aren't going to go to the theme parks unless it's something to really pull them into them. And they're just going to wait till it's a little cooler. So I think the summers are going to continue to be an issue for at least I can speak to the Orlando parks. I don't, I think Epic was a unique situation last year. They even pointed to Epic wasn't having any issues. They did say that the legacy parks were below their expectations. They didn't say, they were interesting about their phrasing. They didn't say that they had fallen off, but they were lower than what they had expected. So I don't know what that really means. We don't have the exact numbers from them. But I think Epic will continue to be a draw there in the summers to some degree. But this is why they're still building stuff, is because they know this same thing that everybody else knows. You got to have new stuff.
Well, and that's probably why they're so aggressive, right, in getting Lost Continent, torn down and reinvesting in their legacy product like Islands of Adventure. Maybe that's why they're so hey, gung-ho about let's go ahead and fill in Universal Studios Florida and some of the holes we have there. Maybe Supercharged is part of that strategy, but we also know that Hollywood Drift is certainly part of that. So it's all of these let's shore up what we actually have right now, maybe while Comcast is still feeding us a little bit of cash before we actually are separated officially. So I think it's really, really interesting on that front and seeing what that strategy is, and to hear Mike Cavanaugh actually talk about that was I think a very, very poignant and very, very interesting as far as us theme park fans are concerned, and what experiences we might actually derive from a Universal experience in the future.
Yeah. And I do want to say too, though, the Paramount thing is not just California, though. There's actually 12 states.
Well, of course, yes. This is why I said different players, right? But if the federal government, signs off on it, and I think Tennessee is open for Paramount. Hey, go ahead and resettle right here. We'll go ahead and approve all the deals you want, kind of thing. There's gonna be people, because you got, if it's 12. Then there's 38 other states, or 48 other states, 38 other states. Sorry, I can't do the math. That will say yes, and so that's gonna be the problem right there. I do believe the judge actually handling this case, Biden appointee. Very interesting. Just putting that out.
That is, and also another thing too is because I've been very critical about how our state, Tommy and I's state, because you guys are not from California, but I see, this is the thing that bothers me, man, because you have Paramount threatening to leave California, right? California needs to do whatever it can to not allow that to happen, because California, you do not want California to become Detroit with the auto industry. Detroit. Yeah. Now I will say this though. California is more diverse than that. We do have a lot more going on than just one thing. Hollywood's a big part of it, but we have Silicon Valley, a lot of other parts kind of in the equation. I mean, we're the fourth largest economy in the world. It's freaking massive. But Hollywood is a big part of it, though. And to let Paramount and Warner Brothers now walk away from our state, that is a massive loss for the state of California. So I get it. They have antitrust concerns and they have every right to do what they want to do with the lawsuit and all that stuff. But I'm kind of worried about it, though, you guys. I mean, at least for the economy of our state and just for Hollywood in general, I don't know. I think that could lead to a bigger mess than just between these two studios,
Well, how many other studios take the initiative to go, let's go ahead and headquarter ourselves somewhere else as well? I mean, right. What kind of exodus do we actually see if one major player leaves, even if it's in response to getting the deal done? I mean, who the heck knows? And we all know that. I mean, I think the film industry, I think Hollywood Reporter's been really doing a great job keeping track of some of the stuff. Yeah. But we all know that filming in LA, in California, has been down, going by, years there. We all know that they do filming in the UK and various other areas of the country, various other places internationally. So our these studios more predisposed to perhaps moving than they ever have been. So that's kind of the other thing too that's going along with that. I think, OG, I think your concerns there are certainly valid. There's no question about that, and that's why it's a little bit strange why they would mount so much opposition towards this particular change. It's just like it just doesn't quite make sense because, yeah, you can mount all the opposition that you want, but eventually this deal's going to get done. So where will you have been after that? I'm not sure.
Exactly, Vash. Exactly. And that's exactly my concern, because you're going to mount this campaign, right, against the merger. Great. But you better win, though, because if you don't win, right, where are you at then? Because now you've pissed off the Ellisons.
Yeah.
So now then it's going to go through. So the state made the Ellisons mad, right? And now it gets approved. And now where are you? Because now the Ellisons are like, well, you know, screw you guys, we're moving. Like this, that's why I'm really concerned about it, because I feel like, you know, like I'm not saying that California needs to like roll over, because there is a lot with this deal that is not great. Let's be honest. It's a studio and a studio. You're going to lose a lot of jobs, where you wouldn't lose as many if Netflix bought it, because it's two different businesses kind of. But there's a lot of concerns.
That's the argument they're making, though. This is the thing, and not obviously. I think this has become very political in this thing, undoubtedly.
Of course.
But I think when you're looking at, like, Netflix is a bigger player than Paramount right now. And yet there was really no, like, there was some about antitrust, but when Paramount stepped in and got it, all of a sudden it was all antitrust. I was like, well, hold on a second. Like, if you want to argue about the jobs, that's okay. That's a legitimate argument.
That's a fair point.
But if you're talking actual market share, Paramount is a better, if that's really your worry, then Paramount makes more sense than Netflix does, I would assume, in most situations. So it just seems to me that it is very political. And then it's obviously going to drag out here now, and it's probably only going to get worse with that. And if it does get approved, or when it gets approved, I mean, I feel like even if it goes through, you're going to see Hollywood really kind of throw a fit about it. And so I feel like inevitably, if this does go through, Paramount's out of the state. I just don't see it.
And then the other thing too, it's like I heard a lot of, you know, contentious issues regarding Netflix absorbing Warner Brothers Discovery, right? Or at least the Warner Brothers side of things, talking about how, well, what happens to the theatrical industry if that were to happen, where you have Netflix that obviously wants all the eyeballs and attention on its streaming platform. Are they necessarily incentivized to actually put out films per year? Now, they may promise some things, and I know Paramount's promising a lot, but we just know the history of Netflix and how they actually play it with theaters. Not well, right? So it's like you're going to lose stuff either way, but you also do have this kind of, does it become like a Spirit Airlines kind of thing where, you know, you have companies who are willing to go ahead and go in and absorb these different entities, and you have some other players saying, hey, don't do that, and then Spirit goes away, and now what? Now, I'm not saying that's going to happen with Warner Bros. Discovery. They have far too many assets to just go away entirely. There's no question about that. Someone's going to absorb something. But at the same time, it's kind of like, okay, well, this is a deal that's probably going to get done here. So how much are we willing to lose in order to fight this thing? And, you know, is this stuff going to be spread around anyway? I mean, at worst case, I think it is. So I just, this whole thing, I don't know, man, but you can definitely see why Comcast, right, was looking at this whole situation and going, well, maybe we should go ahead and split off ourselves in order to get this process started, in a very similar way that when Warner Brothers Discovery said that they were going to split off things, a lot of players threw their hand into that ring. So very, very interesting thing in the media space for sure.
100%. 100%.
Yeah. Well, and somebody brought up too, I do think most of this, if I were to guess politically, is because of CNN. If I were to guess, I haven't watched the news in decades, so I don't even know about it. But I did the feeling a lot of this is because they don't want CNN being controlled by somebody they view as an enemy, and then it just inherently very political. But I do agree that I think, you know, the 12 states are gonna throw some gears in this wrench. And I saw somebody comment, and sorry, I don't remember who said it, but they were saying that essentially it's Ben Kazuto here. So the problem is Paramount is acting in bad faith. They think they can just wave their bank account around and get whatever they want, now threatening to leave the very place that brought them about. this
Especially
is
this year, bro.
this is how America works. If you have enough money, you can kind of do whatever you want to do. So like they wouldn't be the first people that have just been like, hey, we have money. This is what's going to happen. I mean, there's a litany of that throughout history. So
it's crazy though, Jared, because like I hate to bring it up twice, but Paramount cashing out for UFC, and literally you could just pay $7.99 a month to watch a pay-per-view that used to be like $80. Now, like they incentivized Dana White and everybody really well to bring them over there, right? And then like Vash was saying with Netflix, there was like a strong arm like to get it away from Netflix. I mean, like the deal was done and everybody was like, okay, right. And it's like, well, like, you know, OG saying Comcast was in there doing the deal. It's like this before it even got public, there was stuff going on behind closed doors and people were like freaking out. You know, Dave Zasloff wants this deal done though, bro. He's waiting so he could get his paycheck. I mean, he's a funny guy. Man. Yeah, of course, right? Yeah. All he does is just buy stuff and sell it off. I mean, remember what he tried to tank that Coyote versus John Cena
Teddy
movie
versus Acme.
Yeah, he's trying to tank that for Batgirl or Batwoman, tank it for tax write-offs. Like, I don't know, man. Like, there's a plan in order. Like you said, Jared, we just don't know what it is. And we're trying to figure it out along the way, and we'll never figure it out.
That's very evident what was actually going on there, Tommy Toon. He was setting up the company in order to be purchased, right? Get the financial situation in order as much as possible, and then court a buyer, which he had quite a few, actually. Right. So we know exactly what's going on there. I just find it fascinating because with this consolidation, obviously there's going to be fallout, right? But maybe that opens up opportunity for maybe an NBC Universal to say, hey, Warner Brothers, Discovery, Paramount, we already do business in some form or fashion with Wizarding World and Transformers. Let's go ahead and do some more deals. So,
and here's the truth about this. The reason this is happening is Hollywood's fault. I mean, if Hollywood was not in the position they're in right now, you would not have this consolidation going on. So I always find it interesting that they're the ones throwing a fit where it's like, you guys spent all this time, like, you know, not giving people what they want and all the studios, all this stuff. So the mess that they created, this is kind of the result of that. And so in many ways, I understand like not everybody involved in Hollywood had everything to do with that. But at the same time, like when you watch shows like Succession, there is just a world that's beyond any of us of this high money. Right. And these dudes operate in a realm that we'll never understand. And money talks, and they make deals and back deals, and they probably all hate each other or get along. Who knows? But I think it's just one of those things. Like you throw politics into it, it's all very similar world. And you know, I don't. In my opinion, when it comes to Hollywood, there are no good guys. Like I don't think anybody's a good guy. I'm looking at this, watching like a wrestling match where they're all heels. I'm just like,
well, and here's the thing too, and not to give. I'm not looking at this from. I mean, I'm going to give a political opinion, but it's not. It's going to be like an objective, sort of like from a distance, kind of like perspective, right? Because I'm worried. My biggest worry is Paramount and Warner Brothers are going to leave California because of the lawsuit, right?
Okay.
I mean, the Ellisons. It's no secret that they're friends with Trump, right? I mean, that's not a secret. Would they have moved out anyway? I mean, because Trump doesn't exactly, California is not exactly his favorite state right now. You know what I'm saying? So maybe they'd move out anyway. Who knows? You know, maybe it would have been a foregone conclusion anyway. Who knows?
Well, Tesla moved.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a big thing when that happened. I mean, you know, it's possible. I think a lot of these places, especially when you're talking about even a lot of the movie making, moved to Georgia because of tax breaks. So, like, if you're willing to offer these places tax break, look at the Chicago Bears. They're moving to Indiana because of the better setup they're going to get in Indiana versus Chicago. So it's not just Hollywood; it's kind of all over the place. And I think you have states competing for economic value. They think that if Nashville or Tennessee is like, "Hey, come here," and we think we'll benefit from your movie making being here or whatever it is, like it is kind of free market in a way that is. Like if you have enough money, you can bully your way around. And I think that it's kind of always been that way, but I think we just live in a very like hyper political climate. And so everything like you go buy a gallon of milk, that becomes political. It's just, you know, everything's political now, whether you want it to be or not. And this is no different. But I do agree with Vash. I think at the end of the day, I think Paramount is probably going to pay some of those extra fees over to Warner Brothers, which I'm sure Warner Brothers is not upset by, but I think this gets done. Zaslav's already sold off shares. I think he's already signaling that this is probably going to get done.
Right.
And so it's more than likely a formality that it will, and probably it's maybe this is a way to negotiate and say, okay, we'll drop the lawsuit if you stay here and X, Y, and Z. Who knows? Like anything can happen from this, but it's going to take some time either way.
All I'm saying is California, you better pull up.
Uh-oh.
Perhaps I didn't receive the message.
Yep. I'm good. Yeah, I was gonna say, California, they need to put their big boy pants on and do whatever they can do to keep those two major studios in California. I don't have a lot of faith because they screw things up a lot, but we'll see. But Wizard, he needs to come out of his shell a little bit. He's kind of shy about his opinions. Hey, and you know what? Actually, Wizard, that is actually so hilarious because we're going to talk about the Hollywood Drift stuff and Toluca Lake, man. People are memeing the hell out of that today because it soft opened yesterday. So really funny stuff. But it's good to see you, Wizard.
That next, and the only thing I was going to add too is in business and in life, you don't get 100% of the things that you want all the time. And I think in this situation, if you're California, these states, and you don't like this, and it's like, okay, I get it, but like they don't have direct control of all this stuff. But it's like, are you willing to lose another studio leaving your state? Or are you willing to make a deal on something you don't necessarily like, but it's just the reality of the situation? And I'm not saying I like the fact that these studios are consolidating. I don't like that, but ultimately it's like, this is kind of the situation that they found themselves in. And so that from that point, you kind of have to just find the best path forward. And when you're in a situation like this, whoever has the biggest money bag wins. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. That's how Walt Disney did stuff sometimes. He just was like, I'm going to buy up parts of Florida to make a city, and I'm going to do it sneakily because he had the resources to do it. So it's like, it just, you look throughout history, it's been pretty consistent with that. And obviously it's we have more social media access to this stuff now, but I mean, even like, talk about Disney buying Fox, that seems like a deal now, but at the time it was like $74 billion. Like, geez,
That's crazy.
And if that one went through, I would imagine this one would go through. I imagine Netflix, I said the whole time, I think Netflix was going to have a harder time getting this approved by federal regulators than Paramount would have. And I still think that's the case. It's just the state. We'll see what happens in the states, but I think ultimately that's probably what happens. And mind you, I have no horse in this race. I can't sit there and say like I don't wear Netflix t-shirts and I don't wear Paramount t-shirts. I just trying to look at this objectively as I can. I'm just like, I saw it pop up and the business guys talking about this. I just don't think that this is going to be something that stops it necessarily.
Well, and you bring up a great point too, Jared. I think there was like a perfect storm kind of happening here with Hollywood where I agree with you. I think the last like 10 to 15 years, I think Hollywood has really dropped the ball with quality. Absolutely. And I also think that there's also been a lot of other things too. I think streaming has really hurt them a lot. Kind of similar to like what Napster did to the music industry back in the day, right?
Yeah.
And I think this AI stuff, I think AI could potentially, well, and it's not just Hollywood that AI would impact. It's going to be everything. But so there's a lot of things going on here. I mean, I think in 10 or 15 years, I think we're going to see a very different Hollywood. I really do. I think it's going to be a completely different kind of like landscape.
Yeah. And I did look this up really quick, and I did find, because somebody commented, Skywalker Ben said, the international markets are probably going to be blocking the deal like crazy. Well, not really, because the European Commission approves the merger of Paramount Warner Brothers. This was July 22nd. So they've already approved it. So I think if you're looking at that probably gives them some, I don't know if that gives them case law or whatever it is, but I always felt the biggest hurdle was going to be the EU. And if they already got that out of the way, I don't think this lawsuit from the States is going to stop it. Like it or hate it, I think that's just how it is. So I don't know. We'll see how that happens. It's not going to get done anytime soon, but yeah, we'll see how that shakes out. But in terms of Comcast and Universal, I think definitely possible for some partners that they may take on.
I hope so.
I agree with Vash that the timing of this, are probably using as much Comcast cash while they have it to do some of the stuff they're doing. And then they may have already been going into a period of sort of letting their foot off the pedal a little bit on construction. maybe for those 2 years while ever, this whole thing spins off. But like I said, I think there may be something else we just don't know yet about all this. And, we'll see.
Yeah, I really hope. I was rooting for it. Is funny. I'm being a little hypocritical because I'm like, well, if Paramount buys Warner Brothers, there's gonna be all these job losses. But then I'm like, yeah, but dude, I wish Universal would have got
Yeah,
him.
we were all kind of hoping for that, but there's no way.
I mean, realistically, Comcast was never going to get it. I mean, we were rooting for it at the time, but once they started going, once you hit $100 billion for this thing, you're just like, okay. And there's no way Comcast is going to do that with all the debt they have. So,
well, yeah, and they've shown over the years that Comcast is pretty conservative with stuff like that. They don't, they don't make
huge splashes like that typically.
Right.
I mean, they were trying to get a little Saudi money, I think, to help out, but I think ultimately that didn't work out. But let's hit a couple of super chats here. We'll get to talk about some Hollywood drift. We got another 10 from Ill Magic. Thank you, Ill Magic. Says, also, the queue line for monsters is such a beautiful, horrifying experience. I never thought I would say this, but that's one queue line I enjoyed going through over and over again. It is really good. It is very good.
That's a queue line, man. You walk up the stairs on one of them too, I think, right? Man, it goes pretty quick too, because the one thing about Orlando parks, man, is their queues are always just top notch. I mean, they have to be because it's hot. You got to go inside and cool off and have something cool to look at.
It helps have some things to look at while you're waiting in line for sure. Yeah.
Well, Tommy, was that your favorite ride over there in?
Yes, but it could be hindered because Stardust Racers was down.
Oh, that's right. It was down when you guys were there.
Yeah, unfortunately. So I will be back, but yeah, definitely was my favorite ride. I mean, Donkey Kong was cool, but it's like less than 2 minutes. I mean, geez. Dude.
Donkey Kong's a rough ride, though. It's not.
It's like Ace Ventura,
It's cool. I love the theming, but man, I rode that thing the opening day because it was not that busy by myself. Nice. Don't ever ride that ride by yourself because it's really? That thing threw me around like a rag doll. Like I was going back and forth, and I was like, okay. So it's cool. I applaud the effort. It's just it's not worth the 90-minute wait to see for that thing. Though I will say the best queue I've ever seen is Battle of the Ministry. That thing is
my god, that's insane, bro. Well, you think they can't top the Escape from Gringotts at the Universal Studios Florida, just the regular park.
Yeah.
And then right when you go in there, bro, it's just like
the scale.
There's nothing like you're there. You're in it.
Yeah. When I walked in there, I was like, oh my gosh, like pictures don't do it justice. Even our daughter's gotten into Harry Potter. She walked in and she's just like, what in the world? I'm like, I know. Like it's crazy everything in there. So it's pretty wild stuff. We also got a 5 here from Xvoot. Thank you, Xvoot. Says, good evening, gentlemen. What do you think of the Fast and Furious coaster opening yesterday at Universal Studios Hollywood? Have any of you been yet?
Good segue. I don't think any of us have been yet, but I foresee possibly me being there, Vash going. OG will probably maybe hold the backpacks. I don't know if you're going to
go.
We'll got the drinks in the bag. So like, I'll just wait.
I'll wait over here,
I mean, I did see a lot of people go on. It's crazy how they did that. I mean, Theme Park Wizard shout you out. He hit us in the group chat. Was like, hey, it's opening. And no one believed it. I heard people were waiting in line only for like 3 hours, but still, maybe imagine 3 hours in the heat with no awning or anything before you get into the queue. The funny thing is I've been hearing you go through the queue. You could go through the queue, right? But then you could do single rider. So like people will wait through the queue just to experience it and look at everything and be like, ooh, and ah, and everything. But you could just spin right back around if they still have the line open because it's tech rehearsals. That's really what it is. Someone actually shout you out. Sorry, I don't remember. But on IG, someone caught it valleying.
I did see that. Yeah.
With like just theme park goers like us on it. But they launched it really quick after that. So, they're still having problems, but hey, shout out Universal for just rolling through the punches because we needed this, and everybody that's already wrote it, they deserve it, man, because they put so much effort into it, man. Like these people reported on it every day, like nonstop. So shout out Mondo for sure from Five Fires. And then another one, Theme Park Ghouls. You guys really been locked in on there. So you guys deserve a man to write it first for sure. It does look fun. I mean, what's your guys' opinion on it? Have you seen the POV? It looks crazy. It's only like a minute and 30 seconds.
So I'll save it because we're gonna literally go. We got 2 more super chats. We'll go right into that story.
Let's
so
do
we'll
it.
take
Let's
that.
do
But
it.
I agree. I think it looks pretty cool. We do another 5 from XVoot. Said the spinoff was structured to save the media park business. Comcast, other businesses, cable is dead, and they know it. This was done to save NBCU.
I gotta respectfully disagree because Brian Roberts that Comcast is his family business. That's not just some business he's running. That's his family. I think he's more concerned about saving that and making sure Comcast is good than he is about Universal. That's my opinion. Just because it's his family thing. You know what I'm saying?
I don't disagree with that part. The family business part is definitely a wrinkle to this.
Yeah.
The real life of scenario of this is like that side of the business. And I don't know what would save it. We've been talking that for years. It's a melting ice cube. So maybe realistically, and I don't know if you've asked or maybe it was Wizard. Somebody had said maybe they're going to switch to doing like data centers. Maybe they revamp that business and do something different. But if it's just going to be cable and broadband, I think it's going to continue to do that. And so I can understand spinning off that side because that is the growing side. I think it has a good future, but it just seems like, is it ready for its own thing? And this is why it makes me think there's just something we don't know yet because this makes sense maybe 4 or 5 years from now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But not now. Like, that's kind of my thinking.
Now XVoot, big shout to XVoot, by the way. We love XVoot. He's always in the chat every time we do a live, right? We love you. I can't wait to hear XVoot's opinion actually, because I know he's a big coaster guy on this Fast and Furious thing. Because I'm not even a coaster guy, and I'm like mesmerized by this thing. It looks amazing. So
it does look cool. Were you gonna say something, Bash?
No, I was just gonna say, we talked about the media side of it quite extensively, right? But on the Comcast side of the equation, right there with Xfinity and everything else, I would predict that a potential partner or consolidation on that level would have been more difficult with their media assets. And so we can look at it as, hey, the NBC Universal side trying to find partners. Well, on the Comcast side, I think they're trying to find partners as well. So I'm not right. And that would be a big shakeup right there. But that would have been an impediment with their media side. So now it alleviates both to find partners singularly.
Well, even Wall Street's been speculating that that's what they're going to do here is spin off that stuff. So I wouldn't be shocked by that by any means. That's a 5 here by Remy D. Says, thoughts on Universal cutting epic hours, closing at 8 p.m. starting in September. Cost cutting due to recent quarter or prepping for new evening event. I saw that. I hate Epic needs to be open until midnight. I hate when they cut those hours. I'm guessing September is historically one of the, if not the slowest month of the year. One of, because kids go back to school. So maybe it's, I did hear some speculation that some of the Epic employees were going to be pulled over to HHN to help with that. So it could be that end. I think they did that last year, if I remember right. So I don't know. I feel like it's not the direction you want this park to go. Want to go less hours. We got to do a nighttime show. What are we doing? It's not even dark by 8 p.m. So I don't know what that means for the fireworks show at that night. But
and they do the same thing out here in Hollywood, man. Because I'm at Universal all the time, and like once a week probably. Now it's crazy, but I would love to stay later. But it closes like at 6 p.m.
I know
it's not even dark yet.
I know.
Well, now you got me wondering if didn't the government clear daylight savings time or whatever, just in general.
It's in the Senate now, is it? I think.
So will they keep the parks open later? We just gotta wait to see.
Well, Attractions Magazine had a big old article on that. Actually, it's interesting that you say that, Tommy.
Wow.
Well, I think part of it could be they could also be trying to incentivize more of those after hours events because that's definitely something they're going to do more of. Way of it's probably again. I really like what Universal has been doing. I think they're going to enter into this really heavy monetization phase. I just hope they don't go too heavy-handed with it. Because if you do that, you're going to really mess up a lot of the goodwill you've built up the past decade if you go too hard, too quick. So far, they've done some things like they removed Hagrid's from Express Pass. Like they've done some things for the guest experience. So I think they do deserve credit for that, seemingly, at least at this point. So, I think that's just a cautionary thing of I know you want to make your money. Just don't try and make it all one quarter. You know what I mean? Like spread this thing out. Like be a little bit patient with it. But again, with this spinoff, maybe they're feeling a little bit of pressure about we really got to bump this up. And I think regardless, they're going to do some more stuff like that. But
you know, Vash, you and I did videos years ago about Disney and the money end of it, right? And we've talked a lot about that, where Disney, it's not so much like the money, but it's the way you do it. You don't want to look like you're openly greedy. Yeah, it's okay to raise prices, and I think that's how you worded it, right? If I'm not mistaken, openly greedy. Yes. And I think you hit the nail on the head. And that was years ago, man. That was back in the day. But like,
all right.
But you're right though, and that's what Universal needs to kind of follow, right?
Right. I hopefully they don't come off as nakedly greedy. I don't think they will, but like Jared said, they're increase revenues, increase EBITDA. So expect more on that front.
Yeah, I agree. We got a couple more super chats here. You guys have been awesome and generous tonight.
Ill Magic. I love Ill Magic's name, by the way. Let's go Nas, baby. Let's go Nas.
Good name. I wonder if the line for Donkey Kong is so long because of the queue being very short. I went through the single line, and from what I saw, the queue for the regular line looks shorter compared to Monsters. It's a combination of that, but that ride just is it just doesn't have a lot of capacity. Each cart is 4 people, and just it has a very limited number of people that can ride it per hour, which was something that was even talked about before the park opened, was like this ride and a few others. They just don't have the huge capacity. I can't remember how many people they move through it per hour, but it's like a fraction of Monsters Unchained. So part of it is it's popular because it's Nintendo and it's Donkey Kong. It's a unique coaster, but it just can't move that many people through it. And I've been in that line where
the weather, man, too.
The last time we went, my daughter really wanted to ride it. And I'm like, okay. And it was every bit the 90-minute wait. And I was like, oh my gosh. And that queue is boring. There is not much in that queue. It's not one of the great queues that
it's just weaving through, man. Well, I mean, the uncle, right? The grandpa.
Yeah, he's been there. But
so that's cool with the bird. So that part's
by the time you hit him, you're not that far from getting on the ride, though. You're like that hallway away before you get on the ride. So like when you see him, it's cool, but like you're almost there. Everything else is you're just in these turnstile queues. You're just like
when you're standing right there and then you're in that straight shot before you walk all the way down, you could even like have someone hold your spot and you could hop over right next to the wall. And I don't know if you know that, but you can literally etch out the wall and get back outside. And then you could come back in and let you in if you say you have a spot. So, I mean, that's what we did. It was a 4-hour wait. I mean, the weather ruined it, everything. Yeah. Conductor would go out, then he came back in. I would go out, I came back in. It was like, geez.
Well, and when it rains, sometimes this thing does not reopen. Well, it's interesting about Donkey Kong. I think they recently got cleared for it to run in the rain.
Really?
I don't know.
The thunderstorm. That's what they were worried about.
If there's lightning, it shuts down. But previously, it just rained, it shut down. But now apparently they don't have to shut it down just for rain.
Nice. That'd be cool in the rain, actually. It's like, rainforest jungles, I mean, maybe.
Maybe in Florida, when it rains, it's usually accompanied with thunder. But
that thing is pouring too. Yeah, I mean,
when it goes down, sometimes it does not reopen for the rest of the day. And so that's one major ride that pulls people in there that makes the rest of the park wait times go up. So it's just the issue that Epic kind of has.
And that proves the point, like book multiple days if you're from out of state, because you may not get what you want. I mean, I didn't get Harry Potter the first day, I don't think, for Epic. So, just book, multiple days. And then they didn't add Epic to the annual pass yet. Like, what's going on?
They're not going to add that until sometime late in 2020.
Right. So they wonder why they're shutting down early, unless they have this all planned out because they don't want to shoot themselves in their foot and try to make money off themselves, because HHN's the big money maker, like you said. But bro, open it up till 12. Have some more night shows than just that. I mean, they're the untradeable dragon shows going into refurb already. I mean, it's like how long.
There's been a lot. They've had like 3 or 4 attractions go a refurb already. So I mean, I don't know if they're just being proactive or if there's actually something.
Oh, that's good then.
But
I'll take that. I mean, they just keep it up. But geez, like, I mean, give us something else. Like, if I go out there for HHN, I'll probably just do HHN, right? I mean, why am I even going to come to Epic if we close at 8? I mean, HHN's open until what, like 1 or 2 in the morning?
2 in the morning is how late.
Right.
So yeah.
I mean, dude, that's like a whole shift of like work.
Yeah,
like
And I think there is. I did say somebody reach out and they said that they think that they're pulling some of because I think they're still short. Like they never have recovered all the. And I think Vash, you talked about the amount of people working. They still haven't recovered from even COVID, so they're still short the people they want. They also fired a whole bunch of people during previews. I don't know if you guys remember that or not, because a bunch of the employees were like leaking stuff, letting people like do certain, and a bunch of employees got fired because of some of the behavior of their guests during the previews, and so that may be something that's still lingering, but we'll see on that front. Then we do have another one that got 5 from Red Bandana Gaming. What's up, Red Bandana? Go check out Red Bandana. I was on there a few weeks ago. I might have to hit him back up again because I got a PS5 now, and so I may play some games now. But
you got to get GTA 6 and Wolverine or what, buddy? You getting prepared?
I got it for my brother wanted me to play. He's really competitive, so we were playing something, and I was like, honestly, it was cheaper to do that than fix my gaming PC because of the RAM prices right now. And I was like, and I wanted to play GTA 6, so I was just like, I'll just get it.
That's like, whatever. You need it.
But yeah, so he said, we need a new Universal Studios theme park adventure game. Ohio. That would be kind of cool.
Ooh, that would be fire.
I wouldn't be against that.
That would be.
I'll take it.
Yeah, cool. Red Bandana's good people. It's good to see you, Red Bandana.
He's awesome. I'll hit him up. I may come on there. Well, I would say OG could join, but OG doesn't play games, but he could still probably talk games.
Red Bandana, like Ninja Turtle, Raphael Red Bandana?
I believe that's part of it. He's got a large Ninja Turtle collection and a very large Nintendo Switch game collection. I think the number is 1,000 Nintendo Switch games is what he has, or close to it.
That's sick. So I bet you're upset about no more physical copies, man. I bet you talked about it.
I haven't talked to him about that yet, but I would imagine so. That has not gone over very well, I will say, with the fans out there. Yeah. Not a great thing. But well, let's move on and talk about.
And I will say this real quick. Red Bandana out here in California might get you in some trouble. So
different type of bandana. It's a different type. It's yeah. He does have a really cool. When I was on the stream with him, he had, I can't remember what it was. He had a Raphael thing in the background. I'm like, I need that in my life because I love it. But let's talk about Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift out in Universal Studios Hollywood because there's 2 of these. So we got to make sure we know which one we're talking about here. So last live stream or a couple live streams ago, we were talking about some of the delays with this, and there was speculation that this could be delayed until the closer to the end of the year. It might even be 2027, and there were some issues with the spoilers flying off and the ride vehicles and the track wear, and didn't look like a good situation was happening. And of course, you've got the residents. What's the name of the lake? The people.
Toluca Lake.
Crybaby Lake. They were complaining about the noise here, and so Universal was saying that no, it's not going to be delayed, and all this stuff. And then it turns out that a few days later, this had a soft opening kind of randomly. And now people have ridden this. There's some POVs of this. And what I've seen thus far, it looks like it's gone over pretty well. People being pretty happy with this. I think it's pretty thrilling. But I'll kick it to you guys. I'm going to go tell my kids good night real quick because you guys are West Coast. You guys know about this, and I'll hop in when I get back. But what do you guys think about all this? And are you going to ride it soon?
It's crazy because just like a week or 2 ago, I mean, it was looking pretty bleak. There were talks like this thing might not open for like till the end of the year. And then all of a sudden, Theme Park Wizard out there on Twitter is like, everybody, today's the day, today's the day, today's the day. Sure enough, today was the day. So this is day 2, actually. But like, I'm happy, man. I'm happy. I'm not a thrill junkie guy, but I've been watching this thing go up, over the past year or so. And it really is a modern marvel. Like Vash, we talked about so many times. Like the way they've designed this coaster on that hill, the sight lines actually work to its advantage because it's a LA franchise. Fast and Furious is like a Los Angeles thing. To kind of see the San Fernando Valley while you're riding this ride makes a lot of sense, right? I think it's awesome. I think it's been doing pretty good too in terms of like tech stuff. I haven't really seen any reports of it like breaking down as far as I know. I mean, it seems to be going pretty smooth. So yeah. And in terms of Toluca Lake, I mean, they can just kind of, get over it, right? I don't know.
Well, it's really interesting because we saw like an LA Times article going into the issues with Toluca Lake, right? And they were saying that, these screams, they sound like somebody's being,
murdered or something. Right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, sorry.
So, yeah, well, And so it was like, oh my goodness gracious, like this is pretty bad right here. But I think the rumors connected to maybe Universal delaying it for that specific reason right there may have been overblown by various elements of the media. However, the media was treating those issues that Toluca Lake was having very, very strongly otherwise. Well, it did seem that things were approaching the coaster's opening, maybe, perhaps, because an email was sent out to Toluca residents suggesting that, hey, we're going to be doing soft openings on this, or technical rehearsals, with guests that can actually board and ride this thing within the next 2 weeks. And sure enough, that's why people were carting around on Monday, given those rumors, and they did in fact open. Even with that valley that occurred there and a couple of issues that were actually going on, they did actually open up. You did have people actually walk in for the first time and actually see this queue, take some video, all of that and more. So that was absolutely phenomenal, as Tommy beautifully pointed out right there. Very, very good stuff. Obviously, Theme Park Wizard, he had to turn on the way back and actually get some footage of this whole thing, get some on the ground reporting right there. We had Ivan, actually, Valientes on X right there. He was able to get on it. I had a conversation with him, and he was like, this thing is phenomenal. This thing is absolutely outrageous. It's great. It's fantastic. He put it right up there to Velocicoaster, which if you've been out in Orlando and you've ridden that, you know that this is quite a high bar, and it looks like it has met it right there. And he was reporting that, hey, he got the Charger seat. Remember, the Charger was having problems with the rotation. It looks like those problems have been alleviated, at least with his ride right there, which is very, very good, very, very strong. The other thing, too, I know Wizard, he was very concerned about the wear and tear aspect of the track right there. And apparently they had determined that the rotational spin, right, the centrifugal force that goes along with some of that spinning element, was spinning in such a manner that was putting additional strain on the track at various points. So they've recalibrated a little bit. They've mitigated some of those issues, so that is good. So there's, you got a lot of stuff developing right here, but this looks absolutely phenomenal. Looks like a lot of people had a lot of great time with it. It was running 4 train ops, at least yesterday, which is very, very good. That puts it at about 1,920 people per hour, which is fantastic, right? You always want to be above that 1,500 threshold when it comes to big E-ticket attractions like this in the big 2 parks, and it looks like it is doing it. So all good as far as I can see right there, and looks like Drew the Disney Dude has joined us as well. That's fantastic. Good stuff right there. Ochi, please.
We love Drew. Drew, thank you for joining, brother. We appreciate you. We got D23 coming up, everybody. And Drew says Fast and Furious coaster is so damn cool. I want to ride it.
Let's get on it, buddy. I'm ready too. We can get you through the single rider. We'll get you through single rider MVP, unless you already have the universal plug. I mean, knowing him, he does. But hey, I like what Vash was saying with all this, man. This thing is insane. I mean, look at these cars on here. So you could get the Charger experience. Then you could get the Skyline experience. You know what I mean? All these different cars, different positions. Obviously, they're doing the same thing, but it looks different when you're on there. If you're looking at these POVs, literally it's a minute and a half. I know the rides. Well, how long you're going to wait? You're going to wait 2 hours for a minute and a half? Yes, I am, right? Because this is going, like you said, over the valley. Bro, at night, the headlights come on, flicker and everything. Inside the car. Conductor told me, he said you could hear the cars revving. He goes, come on. How do you not want this when you're drifting as well, right? I mean, you're like looking down at one point at people like theme park goers. Then at one point you're looking over like the valley. This is insane. Of course, the Orlando one is shooting up like crazy. I mean, we're going to be able to ride that in no time too. It's just they're both going to be totally different and the vibe's insane. I mean, if there's any roller coaster to get you on, I mean, this may be the one. Just because,
bro.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Imagine riding this at HHN. Both of you guys. Imagine riding this at HHN just in between breaks of going through the haunted houses. Granted, I think they put some stipulations on that. I think it's just RIP Tour and Express Unlimited. I think Frequent Fear and all those General Mission can't go on Fast at Night. But I do want to make a point that they did 2 tech rehearsal days in a row. Are we going to get a third? Is it every day now? Is it daily? This is what I want to know. Because shout out SoCal Tall Guy. He's reporting over there as well. And he said as of 5 p.m., the line was cut off. The queue is done. So will they open it back up at night like they did last night, or is it just done? I mean, obviously I can't travel down there. I'm in the Bay Area. I can't. I would love to travel down there for this, right? But it's unofficially open. It's not the official date yet. Are we going to get an official date, guys, or is it just going to do this, you think, for a while?
Go ahead, Vash. Oh, actually, before you continue, Drew says the B-roll shots are epic. And Drew, that's actually courtesy of Mr. Vash Sky. He is the king of the B-roll. Vash has B-roll for literally everything. Like, no matter what it is, he's got the B-roll for it. So
I try to have a repo, a package built for something. But I got to give it to, people like Valientes, people like Theme Park Wizard, people like OG55, actually, Inside the Universal, Laughing Place, so many people. This is all their footage right there. I just compiled it, basically. But the credits are right there. So big credit and shout out to the guys on the ground getting this stuff. Absolutely fantastic, absolutely phenomenal. No, I mean, it's look, this is a fantastic coaster. Obviously, it's years and years and years in the making. I remember that first, piece of concept art that was leaked out or whatever, right next to Simpsons, and everybody's like, "Whoa, what is this?" This looks absolutely fantastic. I remember when back in the day we used to feature the Spike, and now people can actually ride it. So this is a big, big win right here. I will say, when it comes to the opening of this, I think they want to be just a little bit, close to the vest when it comes to the opening on this specific coaster right here. They understand that it's still going through some tweaks and so forth, right? I think leading up to the soft opening itself, one of the cars came in, a little bit of catawampus there. So I think they want very, very solid operations for this. I think they want to make sure that when this thing is open, it is going to be operational for the entire day. As Tommy pointed out earlier, talking about the operations for this and whether or not it's going to be open at night and so forth. When people are paying general admission to ride this coaster, obviously they want to be able to ride it whenever they can, and to being able to ride this at night will become easier as we move into the later part of the year, right, where night actually occurs faster than it does maybe in the summer. But in order to facilitate that, this thing needs to be operationally sound. And I think they understand it's an Intamin coaster. They're going to have some problems initially. And so when this thing has 4, 5, 6 hour lines, right, or maybe even longer, that come with an official opening, they want to be ready. So I think they're going to hold this one back just a little bit until they can actually ensure that this thing's going to go off more consistently than maybe it does now.
Yeah, I mean, and people are getting off this thing. I've been seeing a lot of social media reactions to this. I mean, everyone's loving this. Right? It's been crazy. I want to ask you guys, and I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. So if it's a stupid idea, just please don't. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. But I kind of want to bounce this off you guys. Every April, I think it is, right? Universal does Fan Fest.
Yes.
The nerdy event for like a month and a half, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if they converted this ride? Now, you wouldn't have to do anything crazy. I mean, it has onboard audio. You just have the music.
Hey, Doc, we better back up. We don't have enough road to get up to 88.
And you turn this bad boy into a Back to the Future just for Fan Fest.
It is so interesting you say that, OG, because Valientes, when I was talking to him, Ivan, that is, he was saying, like the onboard audio just has revving sounds. And according to Theme Park Wizard, which, by the way, big shout out to Theme Park Wizard for a lot of this information. I cannot, take this myself. Wizard did the real hard reporting on this. Apparently they do play sounds on board, but it's just like according to the car that you're in. So the Charger has a Charger kind of sound, GTR has a, or the Skyline has its own kind of sound, Supra, etc. Right? And Ivan was saying, look, what if you could activate that for various promotional opportunities or maybe various seasonal events, special events, and have it be another type of coaster? Look, I mean, if you were to just change out the soundtrack just to feature Back to the Future during FanFest, come on.
Yep. And then change the lights a little bit, right? Yeah, at night, that's all we need.
Bro.
Yeah, exactly. Just some protection effects, all of that. Come on. Let's do it.
Yes. Actually, the last time I went to FanFest was with Mr. Tommy Toon.
Hey, bro. And that was a
there.
crazy night, bro. We killed it that night.
Yeah, we crushed it. Yeah, FanFest is a really fun event. Everybody at home, if you haven't been to FanFest, I think they're going to have it again this year or next year, actually. Check it out, man. It is a good time. We had Sailor Moon out there just crushing it, man. Everyone had a crush on Sailor. She was great.
We may find it out next year when we go to the West Coast to go at the Fan Fest when they do that. Because although I did hear a rumor that it may be coming to the East Coast as well, maybe next year. I
can see it. I can see it getting to the point where it's HHN worthy. You know, I could definitely see that.
Honestly, and shout out Jose, Theme Park Philosopher or Theme Park Philosophy. He had talked about this months ago, and I agree with him that the potential of FanFest is probably bigger than Halloween Horror Nights because it's outside of just a single genre. And eventually, you got to think Halloween Horror Nights has had 30 plus years to build up.
Right.
It would become a very huge event for them that is very similar to HHN. And honestly, stuff like this, like even what we were talking about with some of these rides of adding in audio elements. And I know we were speculating with Space Mountain could be adding things in there. Yeah, Wizard said it should be bi-coastal. I've heard a very similar thing for next year. I think with all the onboard elements you have here, it does lend to these rides having a little bit of a little special thing they could do for certain events. So I think it'd be cool. Now, one thing I'm going to say, is this really open until Vin Diesel shows up?
No, it's not, bro. It's not. Him and Ludacris, bro. We need both of them there.
Oh, hell yeah.
He just says, "Welcome to the family." And they're like, "Oh, it's open. All right, we're ready to go."
Yeah. Did you guys see that clip? It was on Instagram. It was like an Instagram reel where Luda's
in the Super Nintendo World.
Yeah,
let's go, bro. That was fire, dude. That's what I mean. They just kick it there, bro.
Exactly. Luda's got a good relationship with Universal, so he could definitely do something for them, you know.
Here, I'll find that real quick. I'll play a little bit. I won't play the whole song because it curses, but you can go ahead, Vash. I'll find the clip and we can take a look.
I remember Luda actually shared one of Ivan's videos, I think on his Instagram or whatever. Didn't give him credit, but he shared one of his videos. Yeah, highlighting the coaster itself during construction. That was a very interesting thing right there. So you're right. Maybe we need Luda and Vin Diesel to come on in here and say, family. And then it's actually open. Maybe that's what they're waiting for. But look, I mean, this thing is going to shape the theme park industry for sure. Obviously, you've got coaster enthusiasts from all over the world. Very interested in actually what is going on in Hollywood right now. This is a big deal. And the fact that we've actually reached this milestone, not just having guests back and testing it, which we were all kind of, wringing our hands whether or not this was actually going to happen, but to have actual guests in the park, soft opening, and this thing running as consistently as it has already, not to mention high throughput and so forth. This is going to be an absolute win, I think, for Universal Studios Hollywood.
Well, and this is exactly what this park needed, right? Because this park has never been like strong with the coaster. With their coaster game was not the strongest, right? So this will put this park on the map for those coaster enthusiasts in a big way. In a big way. So we'll see. And I don't think the Toluca Lake stuff is really going to have any big impact. From what I'm hearing, actually, Universal has been cooperating with them, and they've been setting up microphones in the area and trying to figure out what they can do. So I think we'll be fine. But
I would imagine that's not going to do it. Okay, let's take a listen to this real quick. I won't play the whole thing, but this was actually kind of a cool thing of him rapping, which I've always liked Ludacris, to be quite honest. Like, I've never disliked him, especially as a rapper, but here's a little whole thing. I don't know if we'll get hit with copyright. I don't know if this is an actual song, but that's a good flow. Even you're rapping in the queue of Mario, and I'm just like, why is that so good? Like, More
Just
of
the fact that he was like, "Hey, yo, record this real quick," and the vibe that he's like us, man, deep down inside, it's like he likes the theme parks. Like that's what makes it cool. Like he was, "Oh, this is gonna be dope. Let's do it." You know, come on.
Yeah.
100%. Now I don't want to cuss because this is multi-channel, so I'm trying to be good. But I do have a question though. Did that bee ever get out of his way? I don't know.
I think he did. I think so. I think so.
I think
he's a little more relaxed nowadays.
I think that's why he wrote the song, because they did get out of his way, and he's like, "Yeah, mad. I gotta write a song."
But now, though, I mean, now,
well,
he's asking now.
Now he can just make him get out of his way. But honestly, could you imagine being in line and Ludacris is just rapping? You just be like, "Is this happening right now?" Like, I think that'd be awesome.
Well, and wasn't it so random they had him doing that in the Mario queue though? Like, you have this new ride where he's literally in these movies. Like, why didn't you have him in the?
I don't know if Universal had anything to do with that though. Do you think they did? I feel like that was just him.
Oh,
I just assumed it was Uni because there was like no one else in there, but maybe.
I mean, he probably has VIP access, so I'd imagine he's probably just walking in the queue, be like, "Hey, film me real quick. I'm gonna drop a beat."
I'm gonna drop a few bars on you guys real quick. You know,
right?
If I could do it, that's what I would do. I would just constantly just be dropping beats at random places just for no reason. But
that's funny. This queue is pretty cool though. They got like I think they have Paul Walker's car displayed in here and stuff.
Yeah, I wonder if they're going to use a lot. Part of me wonders if the reason Supercharged is closing down early in Orlando, because they're going to close it anyways, is they're going to take a lot of those cars that are in that queue and move them over to the Fast and Furious coaster, and they're just going to go ahead and do it now. Because one thing is, and some people have questions on it, they shut down Supercharged for every HHN. It's never open, and nobody ever cares. So I think they were going to shut it down anyways. And they're like, why would we reopen this just to shut it down again? So let's just strip the stuff out of there, get the stuff moving, and do all that. So, but looking at this ride here, I mean, I think this is going to be a great addition to both coasts, and I think it's the ride system, the ride vehicles. Like, I've never seen anything like that. So, I'm happy for you guys. I hope this is a big hit, and I think it will definitely help, because even Comcast in the earnings call said that the attendance at Hollywood was not going to improve until this ride opened. So once I heard that, I was like, they're going to do everything they can to open this thing quick. Like, they're going to probably have them pushing everything about, like, we got to get this thing open, especially because they were selling tickets that included, for Halloween Horror Nights, that included access to this ride. So if they didn't have it open, that would be a big problem for them.
Huge. Now, Tommy, have you seen like the construction for the one in Florida?
Yeah.
With the spike?
Dude, that's insane.
That thing in person is wild too. Like, it is huge. But yeah, they're moving, and that's the same at Universal. They build quick. So,
yeah, right.
You know, I don't know. I think it's a good addition. I think this will be, if you're gonna have a Fast and Furious IP in your park, it makes sense for it to be a coaster like this and not something like a Supercharged. And it maintains Fast and Furious, because that's something I'm sure the corporate end wants, because that's still a franchise that, even as ridiculous as those movies are, they do make money. So putting it on a coaster like this, a unique coaster, I think is a good fit for this.
I agree. Now, you guys notice in the queue, when people are standing in the queue and the coaster comes right up to those windows,
yeah,
you really get a sense of the speed, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well, what's interesting is that
oh, go ahead, Vash. Sorry.
Well, I guess there were some panels that they added later, because I think they were like prison panels or whatever. At least that's what they were, being modeled after. And get this right, this edge, right? But Wizard was telling me, yeah, they took some of those panels out, put more glass in, which, by the way, is a little bit of expense, right? Obviously, to maintain those, they scratch, they get dirty, all of that. But I think they really wanted to take advantage of the beautiful views out to the San Fernando Valley, but also too of this coaster just flying by, whizzing by, and it just builds their anticipation. The coaster is the pre-show almost in that way. I think that was very, very cool. Go ahead, Jared, please.
No, I agree. I think visually, the way this thing looks, it's going to be way better than Orlando's. You guys have some awesome views with this, and like the queue thing there. Like, I think aesthetics wise, this is a very, very, maybe one of the most unique coasters we've ever seen. In terms of like building on the hillside, over those escalators, like it really is a marvel of a feat of what they were able to do with this. So I'm happy that it opened. And I think I saw Wizards say that the spinning was what was causing the wear and tear. that actually makes some sense. I was actually curious about that when we talked about it last time. As I was going to bed, I was like, I wonder if it's a spinning, because obviously, like, you got centrifugal forces there that could be different what it's used to, and so there's this. It's also a brand new type of coaster from Intamin, so it's like you're going to go through some of these, I guess you could just say, growing pains in some ways of getting this coaster up. But I'm glad it's not delayed at the end of the year for sure.
Me too.
We got some breaking news here from
Rudio
here. I don't mean to take over the show or anything, but it's kind of a big deal. Apparently, there's maybe no water right now at Disneyland.
Wow.
That's not good.
That's insane.
We're addressing a water pressure issue impacting parts of downtown State College Boulevard and near the Anaheim Resort area. The issue involves a handful of Anaheim's groundwater wells and technical issues drawing water from them. We are offsetting the issue by using additional river water. Other wells across the city are not impacted. Those impacted should see improving water pressure over the next hour or so. Disneyland without water, that's not good. Restaurants, hotels, homes, and parks themselves are currently affected as people cannot wash their hands or use the restroom.
Does anybody know anybody at Disneyland right now?
Well, I found a Reddit. Thread from like 38 minutes ago, and it said my cousin is there and says all restaurants and restrooms are closed.
Holy
That's a big deal.
And this is what I mean. Imagine coming from out of state. Yeah, right. Imagine from coming out of state and that happened. And you're like, oh, I'm never going back there.
You're talking about maybe 100,000 people impacted total in the just Disneyland Resort alone right there. No toilets for all those people. Yikes. That's not good, guys. That's actually some big news. Sorry, I do apologize for interrupting the show.
No,
but that's a big deal.
Well, I mean, you've got this summer for Disney, you've had the AC go out at Wilderness Lodge for a week. Now you got a water issue, and they've had issues with the sewage stuff in Magic Kingdom before too. So, that's not good at all. Man.
Now Remy D is saying that a Reddit post is saying the issue is fixed. So I don't know.
I'll look and see. Sometimes I don't like Reddit.
I hope so.
Sometimes the latest post I see in Disneyland stuff, like the Reddit forum, is this post about the water being. I haven't seen any updates yet, but it doesn't mean that it hasn't happened. Interesting.
That is fascinating. And today is not a day to have that problem. I went on my afternoon walk today, and it's like 100+ out here. And
well, hey, so when you say that, and we're ending with this ride real quick, so you got to wait in line for, let's say, an hour or 2 or 3 for the soft opening. Then you have to wait in the queue. All right, the queue. Granted, you're underneath an awning. They have misters. All right, at least they have misters. But it's still hot. All right. Shout out conductor once again. He said they do have water fountains in the queue. So at least they implemented that. But then, like, you go on the ride and it's just hot because it's so
well.
Like, and then your head may go like this. I don't know, like, you know what I mean. And then you get off and you're like, damn, is it the heat or was it the ride or why do I feel like this? You know what
That's
I mean?
a great point by Tommy Toon here. One of the things that upsets me about the, let's say, legacy parks and Universal Studios Florida or Universal Orlando Resort is that when you do go on a coaster, in which all coasters are basically, you got to go through the metal detector, you got to stow all your personal belongings, all of that, right? The width of those lockers is pretty narrow, right? It's like you know, they're like kind of short, stubby, and wide. So if you do have a drink, what do you do with it? You have to pitch it, which is a little bit unfortunate. Apparently with these lockers, though, you, I guess, are encouraged to pitch them before actually sticking them in the lockers. But they're the tall lockers to allow you to kind of maybe maintain your drinks and so forth. So that is very, very good. I thought that was really nice. Also, too, they're going with that system where the lockers are in the queue. So you don't have to, unload all your personal possessions before actually getting in the queue. That's quite nice, right? So they have thought about some of these things, and to Tommy Toon's point, it's all about how you feel about when you're in the theme park, not just about the attractions themselves. Now, I do see from Reddit here 5 minutes ago, some people they're saying that some of the restrooms are active, but some of them aren't, and then the lines are very, very long. So it is recovering, but all at once.
Whatever,
Yeah, Tim
guys.
Peterson said saying a water main broke, but services are coming back slowly. Dang, that sucks. Here's a question. I don't know the answer to this, but given how much the theme parks want to make money, why do they not, like in baseball games, have like a beer guy going through the queues of rides? I feel like they would make a mint off of selling beer while people are waiting 3
Or
hours.
just any drink, soft drinks, water, anything in a can.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm so glad you brought that up, Jared, because there was a video very recently. I lost it in the shuffle, which was unfortunate, but there was a video very recently of cast members kind of going through the parade route, actually, at Magic Kingdom with, it wasn't like ODV carts or whatever. This was like, these were 2 cast members, one of them with a cooler that was kind of like, attached to them, as you would with like a baseball game or sporting event or whatever. And they were going through the people lining up on Main Street and saying, hey, do you want this? Do you want that kind of thing? I don't remember what they were selling. Maybe it was hot dogs or something like that. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. So perhaps, Jared, Disney is kind of looking at that and going, well, why not? Right?
I mean, I feel like as much money as they want to make, you got a captive audience. And if I call it a Q beer all the time. When we get in line, I'm going to get myself a Q beer if it's going to be a bit. But it's like, I feel like you would just make who knows how much money they would make. Now, granted, I don't think you should booze people up more necessarily. I'm just shocked that they haven't done it before, given if you go to a baseball game, which I do like that, where you get, if someone just chucks a beer and you catch it, like, it's kind of cool, but I don't know if I'd want a bunch of people in line just getting, maybe that's the worry, is you just get a bunch of people sauced up before they get on a ride and then mayhem breaks out.
I think as long as you kind of maybe you if they can somehow like regulate that where it's like 1 beer per person, I don't know, it might be hard, but like
you got to take a picture and they're like, 1 for you only.
1 for you only. Yeah, I mean, 1 beer, you're likely most people won't get hammered off of that, but like, how do you police that though, right? Because let's say you have like 3 or 4 guys standing there and they order some beers and one of the dudes has like 3 of them, or how do you know, right? I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't imagine. Okay, please.
No, I was just saying it's a good point. Go ahead.
I don't imagine alcohol sales like maybe at the castle parks, but maybe perhaps you do at like Epcot or something. You have maybe some alcoholic beverages on tap right there. That would be very, very interesting to see how that develops. Right now, I think they're just keeping it to like snacks or maybe hot dogs, like you said. But who knows where it goes from there? Go ahead, please.
Like you said, Tommy, even like a Coke, give me a Coke or something. If it's cold and it's hot, I'm fine with it. Like I'm just surprised they haven't done that before. But Raphael, says Disney used to sell items in between backlot tour, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, this needs a comeback. Yeah, I mean, as much money as they want to make from the parks, I mean, I'm just shocked they haven't really done it before. I can't really that they've had the idea. I can't imagine they never went to a baseball game or just like, what if we just had stuff and you just sold it to people while they're in line? Like, I just would assume, but maybe the Disney execs don't go to baseball games. That wouldn't shock me, actually.
Because there has been a few, there's been many instances for me personally, even where I'm in a really long line and I'm like, dang, I could use a Coke right now.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
It would come in handy.
It would come in handy, especially when it's super hot outside. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
You'd make a killing out there. All right. Well, let's, you guys think anyone to add about the Hollywood Drift before we move on?
I just want to say big congrats to Universal and the team that brought this amazing coaster to life. Because if you're impressing me, who honestly I don't care about coasters at all, and if I'm invested in it, then that says a lot. Because I love this thing, and I'm not. This isn't really my thing usually, so I think this is gonna be a huge deal for this park, a game changer for Hollywood, big time. So
yeah.
I'm hearing from Wizard and Ivan, respectively, that these test rehearsals, these soft openings should be going on, if not 1 week, maybe 2, perhaps. And they should be occurring anywhere between 1 to 9. I think that's the kind of a rough time period that Theme Park Wizard was suggesting there. Now, obviously, it doesn't guarantee you access at all, and I wouldn't be planning any vacations around it. But if you happen to be in the area, if you happen to maybe own an AP or whatever, apparently they were honoring Express yesterday as well. So that's kind of an interesting thing.
I heard that. That was interesting.
Really? I was like, wow, okay, well, whatever. So, so you can get lucky for sure, but just know that this is probably going to be opening. I think what he was saying was maybe August 13th, August 19th, somewhere around there, maybe mid-August. I think they want to go ahead and keep that date to the vest, though. So there you go. That's kind of generally what's going on.
Yeah. And they're letting people on with Ray-Bans on. I mean, it was supposed to be super strict, and they're letting them on with the glasses. Dude, I mean, I just went to Vegas, and my last day there, I went to the New York one. There's nothing. You can't wear anything on there. They're like, no phones in the pocket, no wallet, no nothing. You have to put it in this.
That's how Silver City is in Branson. They if they see you have anything in their hand, they'll like get up, they'll like put it down. They're like, jeez, okay. Like, they don't play around there. Yeah,
so I'm riding that roller coaster like 115 degree heat. Like, oh, no.
Yeah, it's because it's a Togo coaster. That's why. Just rattle, your fillings out. So they really don't want anything on there.
Yeah, good view. But
yeah. No, I think this will be good for Universal, and I'm happy for you guys. So I'll be curious to see when that opens and everything like that. But yeah, it's a good sign. I'm glad it wasn't delayed, because that was going to be a story probably for 6 months if it kept being delayed until the end of the year. And we joked even like the Orlando one opens first. You're like, that would be kind of funny, but I would feel really bad for Hollywood if that happens, where they didn't get their moment in the sun.
Well, yeah, because I feel like, because you guys have the bigger, more elaborate resort, and then like we got this tiny little park. I'm like, okay, cool. We get our moment in the sun finally, and then that'd be so hilarious to like.
Just like, no, actually, you don't.
No, Orlando's going to open first. It would be funny but sad at the same time. I would laugh, but then I would cry.
Yeah, it'd be like a cry. It was like a laugh that turns into a cry, and I'm fine. I'm fine. Okay, it's no big deal.
No big deal.
Before we move on, we got a few super chats we're going to get to here. Thank you guys very much. You guys have been very, very generous. Thank you very much. Xvoot said for 5 says, thank you all for the content. Fast and Furious coaster looks amazing. Great to see they soft open. Do you think the delay was because of the neighbors?
Wizard, I mean, our good friend Wizard was saying that was like kind of like the front that they used, right, Wizard?
Action from what was actually happening.
Yeah, it was more like technical stuff, and that was the issue. Like they were kind of using the sound stuff as like the excuse, but and Wizard can elaborate more in the chat, but no, it wasn't the neighbors.
Yeah, Wizard was on last week. He was saying that there was extreme, like a lot of wear and tear on the track that they said you would have seen that after like years of it running. So they probably, there's no confirmation, they probably sent the ride vehicles to one of the places to kind of refabricate them a little bit. So it seemed like that was probably the issue there, but it seemed like they got it worked out. So, but those neighbors are probably going to still complain, because that's kind of what neighbors do sometimes, I guess.
They do. And that's why this is why we never got one of the reasons why we never got our beloved Westcott, because
that's true. That is true.
Rest in peace.
Listen, you just got to buy enough land to build your own city, and then build a theme park in there. You have to worry about these things. That's all you got to do.
All you got to do.
Set up some shell companies, start buying some stuff. It'll be fine. Yeah, everybody can do that. So we also have a 10 here from Hidden Geek Village. Says, thanks for the Pirates of the Caribbean buttons you shared on IG. Love the content. Which one are you?
Oh, hey, shout out Hidden Geek. Yeah, you seen that one, huh, buddy? Thanks, man. Hey, that makes me feel good. Yeah, that thing went viral. I don't know why, bro. Video too. Yeah.
Is this like a button of pirates?
Yeah, it's like, so they do honorary Disneyland or Disney World like buttons, right? And like this one is like blue with like a gold D or something. So for pirates, it says honorary pirate.
Oh,
right? But a lot of people this thing almost got 500,000 views. So like, no, Disney doesn't have 500,000 for you guys. I'm sorry. I'm sorry it went viral, but they don't have it. And they're getting upset with me. People are saying like, oh, I'm showing them your video and they're upset with you. I'm like, well, thanks. I didn't know that all you guys were going to jump the gun.
Oh my God.
When you're first, sometimes people get upset about it. Did they give you
rum?
A
lot of pirates out here, huh? All these people want this pirate stuff.
That's true. Did you get rum though with it, as a true pirate would?
No, I guess I should. Next time I'll bring it, because they probably don't have any.
So I think you're entitled to rum when you just be like, listen, here's my button. I need rum. And they're like, here you go. That's how it works. But by the way, I don't know what these jewels are. Raphael Devarna 1,000 jewels says trophy cake.
Awesome. Well, thank you,
Yeah.
Raphael.
I don't know
I
what
think
jewels are.
It's kind of
they
like
correspond
TikTok.
with. Yeah, they think they correspond with the vertical. live stream that we have
Oh,
going right
okay.
now. Mhm.
Gotcha. Okay, that's okay. I've seen them here and there, and every time I see them, I'm like, I don't know what those mean, but I think it's good. I don't think it's bad. One would
Love
assume. Okay, what do you guys want to? You guys want to hit? We're at 2 hours. We got one more. You guys want to hit HHN, or you want to hit Disneyland employee jumps into the rivers of America?
What are you guys feeling?
I don't know. That is pretty good, though. If you guys haven't talked about that one yet, I mean, this guy's in the video.
Okay, how about this? We'll hit this one. Tommy, do you want to come on Friday to talk about HHN stuff?
I mean, I'm down. If it's not Friday, I'm down. Friday, I'm going to a Lil Wayne concert.
Oh,
Actually,
nice.
during the day, though?
I'm at work during the day.
Oh, well, what? Little Wayne's cooler than us? I'm kidding.
No, this is crazy. He's like 20 minutes away from where I live. That was pretty good, Jared. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if you're going to rap during the stream. I guess I'll record you then.
Honestly, OG and I've talked about this. I used to be really big into hip hop. I used to like Lil Wayne quite a bit, and then I don't even. I listen mostly to like old stuff now. I don't know.
Same here. It's about just the live entertainment, basically. Yeah. It's like 10 years or something of Carter, and then the games on there. So it's like something with that, like 10, 20 years of that.
What was the last one, Tommy? Was it Carter 5?
It was Carter 5, I think.
Carter 5.
Is that his actual name? Is Carter? Is that why he goes by that?
His last name, I think.
Oh, okay. I knew it was something to do. I wasn't really sure.
Dwayne Carter, yeah.
Yeah,
sorry to go off on a tangent, but I am down to talk about Halloween. Maybe when they do the last announcement that's not leaked. So maybe we should skip this one. We don't want to talk about leaked stuff, maybe. I don't know.
Listen, I live dangerously. But
I was waiting for that.
We'll talk about Disneyland because this one's pretty funny. I think this one have some. We'll get some chuckles out of this, if anything else. Well, this came to my attention. I saw this briefly. I didn't really look into it because I don't remember where I was, but Vash filled me on some of the details here. I'll kick it to him and set the stage here. But Disneyland cast member takes off shirt, jumps into rivers of America on a hot summer day. He said, this was Thursday during a hot summer day at the park. The cast member briefly entered the rivers of America and quickly made his way backstage after exiting, according to Disneyland officials. There's a video of this, and I think Vash has some B-roll of it. In the footage, no watercraft passed him during his brief swim. The Mark Twain riverboat and sailing ship Columbia typically travel through the area. They weren't there. So, very interesting that a cast member decided to do this. Vash, do you have any details to set the stage more on this?
Yes. So was looking into this because I was stunned. I mean, look, I've been covering Disney parks for 20 years or so, and maybe even longer than that. Obviously, I've been visiting them before I was even born. So it was kind of like, okay, well, what is the story with this whole thing? And it turns out that there's quite a bit of speculation right there. But it's kind of crazy with this story because apparently he wasn't listening to anybody, not cast members who were also in the area. You can see actually one in this shot right here, one cast member with like a Pirates of the Caribbean costume on right there, not listening to her at all. So, but just deciding to go ahead and just partially disrobe, take off his shirt, take off, his what is it, the top half of his custodial costume, right? Throw his keys and walkie-talkie into the rivers of America right there, and then just hop in, swim around, and as you can see, actually swim around in various areas in front of Tom Sawyer's Island right there, in front of guests and all of that. You can see him right there. Look at that. He's just having a nice little swim. And then he actually gets up and then hightails it backstage, back behind New Orleans Square, which, by the way, I mean, I don't know this area, off the top of my head, like the back of my hand, like I do other areas of Disneyland, obviously. When it comes to backstage areas and when it comes to, everything beyond that, I'm a little, not the best. But I believe, and maybe OG, you can help me out. I thought there was like a parking area right there, employee kind of maintenance parking lot there for trucks and so forth, back behind New Orleans Square. Is that right? I do believe they. Okay. And so he was making his way back there, and that's where they were trying to, like, get access to him.
Right.
And he was trying to escape. I don't know if they actually collected him at that point, but this was so unbelievably unusual that a lot of speculation is out there as to what actually happened. Walt Disney World News Today had a whole thing about the heat. And yes, it was well over 90 degrees on this particular day right here. But because of the bizarre behavior that's actually featured here, a lot of people are speculating that there might be alternative substances at play. I'll leave it there.
Well,
Yeah.
and the thing too that I've noticed is and I hate to blame a lot of stuff like on social media, because sometimes I feel like it's a little bit of a cop out, but I do believe it has impacted our society in a really negative way. And I think a lot of these stunts, and I don't know, maybe this wasn't that. I don't know. Maybe he was doing substances. Who knows, right? But I think a lot of these kind of things are people trying to get clout on social media. And it's just we're seeing more and more of these weird kind of things happening, and I don't think it's a coincidence that in the age of social media, and I think people they want to go viral, and they want to and there's no thought about the future. Like, this guy, I'm sure he's gonna get trespassed. Now, I mean, he definitely lost his job, I'm sure, and he's probably gonna get trespassed now. And
it was just worth it.
Well,
it wasn't worth it. Exactly.
Brian, who works at Universal, says, "Dang, fired and banned in the same day. That the cast member is brave."
I'm telling you, that's
agree.
exactly it. Yeah. It's not worth it though, Go ahead, Tom.
No, it's just like, even with all you guys, everything you guys said, it's like you're still displaying to the kids there that's okay to get in the water now.
Right.
Like, I mean, because these kids don't really know like the
problem.
rules and stuff. They're looking at their parents for the rules, and it's like the parents recording the guy laughing, and they're like, "Oh, the kids. What if they jump in next?" I mean, you've seen this with the Tiana thing. I feel like multiple people were trying to do stuff with the Tiana thing since they seen that kid get away with it.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes Disney's super stern, super strict, like with that streamer, right? They said no more flash, permanent flash with streaming. So no big Hollywood streamers, basically. So like people like us could still walk around with our camera and our stick, but they're super strict on some things, and then they just try to wash away. Like you said, fired and banned. But now it's like, what else are they going to scrub? I mean, we all know this happened. So I mean, what's next? Like, they're not going to. Did they release an article? Or
there was KTLA had an article. Disney, I don't think, put anything. I mean,
OC
Disney
Register had an article.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean, Disney's not going to put a bunch of stuff out. I mean, two things strike me. First off, I would be shocked if this guy wasn't on something, because I mean, and OG's right too. It's like,
right.
I do think narcissism is rampant, and I call it like the main character syndrome, where everybody thinks that they're the main character and all this stuff. Also, he doesn't look like a strong swimmer, so this seems like a very like, oopsie, I did this. And second, you would not do this in Florida, because you just assume at all times there's a gator in the waters in Florida. If anybody gets in water in Florida, I'm like, I'm not even going to say you're brave. You just have a death wish, because like, who knows? I mean, I think I forgot the number, and ever since that horrible incident with that toddler where that gator got him, I think Disney's removed there's thousands of gators they've removed from the waters of Disney World.
Correct.
Do not go in the water. If unless it's a pool in Florida, do not go near it. I don't even remotely go near my pond near my home. So this one to me, I'm just like, I think most people would be kind of shocked how much maybe substances people are on it, just general population. Like, especially now that a lot of this stuff's illegal. Who know, Bash, you were saying too, like maybe you took a gummy stronger than you thought it was, and then you're like, I'm thirsty. There's water, and you start doing really stupid stuff. I mean, it could be as simple as that, but it's just still not a good thing.
At work.
At work.
Of course,
exactly.
Obviously, a lot of this, until we learn the details about maybe an investigation, with a report there, obviously this is speculation, but it is kind of interesting how, in a lot of police encounters that you see out there, a lot of the times when these suspects are on something, a lot of them ask for water, right? And so that might have played a factor here. Not sure entirely, but this is such bizarre behavior. I've never even heard of anything like this happening. It's so rare to even hear about crash outs from cast members and so forth. To actually see one recorded, to actually see something so high profile, to actually see such bizarre behavior in this way. This is a one in a million, billion, trillion type situations right here. Just absolutely bizarre. I mean, just crazy. It's just I've never seen anything like this before. So a lot of people, asking, well, whether or not he's going to be actually retained by Disney. There's no chance. There's no chance at all. This guy is absolutely gone. That's just the standards that they set.
Gone and probably trespass for life.
No, absolutely.
The only way this would be remotely like where you wouldn't be in trouble is if there was a scenario where a cast member jumped in to like save someone. Like
that's the only scenario.
The only scenario where that would make any sense. Because didn't you say so? Okay, let me get this right. He threw his walkie-talkie and his keys in the water. Is that what he did before he jumped in?
According to people who actually saw it in person, yes.
So that's it seems to me there's a train of thought here that is clearly under an influence of something because
he was ready to quit, and that was
right.
I'm done.
By the way, you can also just
swim a little bit. I don't know.
Walk to your car in the parking lot and leave if that's the case, and probably.
But then that's where OG comes in with the social media narcissism, like what you see online, you repeat type stuff. Like,
yeah,
it's a different after the pandemic too. It's like people just act different.
Act different.
Honestly, I think there's a legit case of especially around 2020, there was almost like a mass psychosis, you could say, amongst a lot of people, and I don't think a lot of people recovered from 2020, to be quite honest. No. And so you throw in like all the stuff, like you can have pressures of the world, you throw in drug use, like who knows, like I think a lot of this stuff, but it's just, he also like I guess the logic of this is what gets me, because you just throw your stuff in, you do a little lap, you go out, and he just seems like he's just like
doesn't care.
He's just strolling. Like he gets out of the water, just slowly gets over the gate.
Public pool, bro. That's what it looks like.
It's crazy. And I think Tommy's onto something though, because when he threw his walkie-talkie and his keys in there, that was like kind of like the middle finger. Like, you know what? I don't want this job. I'm done with you guys.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what that felt like to me.
But I get that, but not jumping in the water yourself. I get it if you're mad. You're like, I'm done. And you throw it in the water and you leave. I mean, I still wouldn't say do that, but okay, I can get that, I guess. But like when you're like, I'm done. I'm going in the dirty water here. I mean, I would probably get tested for some parasites if I'm him.
Right.
Brian here, who works for Universal, says, I wonder if he had already got fired and said, screw it, I'm going swimming.
Oh, maybe.
Oh, see, I like that.
That's a possibility.
Imagine if he jumped in during Fantasmic and they had the gas layered on top of the water.
Oh my God. That's crazy. That's crazy. Now I will say the water is actually cleaner than it looks. They actually dye it because it's only like 8 feet. So it looks deeper when it's dark like that. So it's cleaner. I mean, it's not great still because you have like the Mark Twain going through there with the oil and all that stuff, but still it's probably a little cleaner than it looks. And the ducks, that's the other thing too. The only duck we like around here is Seymour. You know what I'm saying? That's the only duck we like around here.
Shout out Seymour.
That's fair. I like ducks that know their financial numbers, personally. They don't. Honestly, other ducks I found are really dumb. They don't know anything. They just walk around and eat food. I'm just like,
quack.
I love it.
What are your takes on this stock duck? And they're just like, nothing. I'm like, you're useless.
I don't know.
Jeez, yeah. I know.
I know a duck that'll tell me all sorts of stuff I should buy, but apparently this one doesn't. But
this one doesn't.
No. So, I think the trend of this is like, I agree with you guys. I think we see more of this. I just think you're going to see this build where it's like there is somebody. It was a theory, and I can't remember who said it. And it was somebody on social media. They were saying that there's a theory about cascading events of like one-upping things in social media. And I think this, if you talk about Disneyland, you saw the Tiana thing, you saw multiple people trying that. Like, even if it's not this exact incident, things like this spark other things for people to act out. They're like, oh, people got attention, especially when you're talking about the age of attention. It's like, look how many views this got. I could get some views if I go do something crazy over here, and then
But the weird thing is no one's like he's not like, hey, look at me, or he's not like directed himself at someone recording him, right?
right.
Nope.
So it's not like
and you know California's wild because no one's even looking at him like it was even a thing.
Like, I saw this morning on the way to the park. I don't even know what this.
All good, you know, it's all good.
LA River, Rivers of America, whatever.
Yeah.
There you go. But
Yeah.
an extremely dangerous situation, though. I mean, I will say there have been people who have tried to swim through the rivers of America who have gotten caught on the track and not come out of that situation. So it's extremely dangerous. Never do this.
Yeah, don't do
Just crazy. It was just wild.
wasn't there a kid a long time ago that tried to swim across the rivers in Disney World and drowned?
Oh, I don't remember that.
I don't remember that. I do remember at Disneyland, though, there were, I believe, a pair of brothers who actually tried to stay overnight in the park.
Oh, maybe it was Disneyland then. Okay, yeah.
Well, and then we had the Small World guy who got naked and ran through the ride a couple years ago.
Right.
That was
Now,
interesting.
thankfully-
And he was on something though. That was confirmed.
You're right, exactly.
do that,
So I don't think it's a big stretch to to suggest that maybe something played an active role here. But however, I mean it's all speculation right now.
Right.
Very, very dangerous. Never do this. Like Jared was saying before, there were those brothers who stayed overnight right there, tried to swim back with the one brother on the other's back. Didn't go well. So very, very dangerous. You have so much river traffic here, the Columbia, the Mark Twain, the canoes, the Tom Sawyer rafts and stuff like that. So big time here.
Yeah. I do want to bring something up though, because I think this is kind of a big deal. Let me go ahead and move the B-roll. Hidden Geek with the 10. Vash, my king. Congrats on passing 10,000 subs. It's clear to me that you will reach 20K before the end of the year. Vash is on the rise and winter is coming. Yeah, Vash, you've been growing fast, man. And you put the work in, dude. You have an incredible audience. And so big shout out to you, man. And I've known you for a long time. This guy, I mean, Vash is like, this guy hustles like nobody. So
I can second that. And I saw Xvoot say that Vash was an undercover coaster enthusiast because he knew the Togo coaster. I'm like, Vash knows his stuff. I will still point out to this day, I'm still amazed, and I know Vash is going to blush, but I was on a stream with Vash. I randomly pulled up an incident about the Universal buses catching fire, and there was B-roll in 3 seconds. I'm like, how the hell did you have that on hand? Like, it's impressive. So, yeah, shout out to Vash. I think well on your way to 20, and it's awesome to see. It's fun.
Vash, I've seen you working at the park too during that media event for Christmas, man. Six Flags, man, you're getting all the B-roll, man. You're just sitting there locked in.
I was trying because I was in Six Flags and I don't necessarily make it there all that much. And it's like, okay, let me get some shots here.
Right.
I didn't get nearly as many of them as I wanted to, but c'est la vie. I try to work hard to bring everybody, whether it be on the panel or you watching at home, the best content possible. And the fact that people want to support that and say, hey, that's fantastic, let's go ahead and give you a subscribe, a like, everything, it really does mean the world to me. Thank you so much, Hidden Greek Village, and to the rest of you on this panel right here in this audience. Thank you.
Absolutely. And Dre has a mean, I don't know my rock too well, I'm more of a rap guy, but a mean guitar solo in his intro. It's pretty sick.
He does have a guitar solo. That is true. I thought about doing one of I enjoyed the saxophone from the Lethal Weapon movies and having like a Lethal Weapon type opening with the saxophone going. I was like, that could work. That could be kind of cool.
Oh yeah.
Riggs and Murtaugh. Maybe that'll be the next one. Because I mean, by the way, some people pointing at this thumbnail. I'm like, we all bought Avengers outfits and did that photo shoot. I don't know what anybody would be.
We don't use AI here ever. These
I
are
grew
all
my hair out and everything for it.
You know?
Tommy was like, I bought an Iron Man suit, and I was like, well, I got to buy a cap suit now, and like, pull my arm. I guess I'll buy a cap suit.
Right. And then Vash just has Stormbreaker just on the slide, man. He can just grab it whenever. So
yeah, it's kind of scary when he does it. You're just like, Vash, chill. Like,
yeah.
Yeah, well, I had to channel my lightning, so had to do that. But Xfood coming in here with the $5. I want to answer this real fast because he gave me 2 minutes to answer. That would be the original X right there at Six Flags Magic Mountain, the coaster that bankrupted Arrow, which is very, very sad to see. Obviously, Arrow being an institution going on 50, 60 years up until that point, contributing so many of the original Disneyland attractions, which, by the way, OG and I recently covered, actually going over a little bit of that with our recent video going over Bricky's video there with all the history connecting to that. But yes, X for sure was the original coaster. No, $50. It's okay. That's just fine. They're X food. You don't have to worry about that. I just like talking about this stuff. And by the way, if you'd like to know a little bit more about X and the history of X, El Toro Ryan has a great video going over all of that. Definitely should check out.
El Toro Ryan is good.
He's really good. He's really good. Hey, Vash, didn't we react to him back in the day? I think we had a video about him, didn't we? Like years ago.
Yes, we might have. We might have right there.
That was a long time ago. And actually, we got to get on Theme Park and one day soon, Alan Almighty Coasters, because he's been on Hollywood Drift a few times already. So
maybe we get him on next one. I like Alan's a good dude. Alan's good.
Yeah.
People. By the way, I love the idea of like challenging Vash to trivia, because remember that show on the ESPN years ago was like Stump the Swami or something. They had this guy that just knew all these sports stats, and the whole show was like people challenging his sports knowledge, and then they never beat him. I feel like we could do that with Vash. We just have like you just randomly ask challenge Vash. We set up super chats, and if he gets it right, like I feel like that'd be a great game show, and I think Vash would really win.
Oh, Vash and I used to do like during the Reedy Creek days. Vash and I would go deep, dude. We would debate this stuff and go back. Those Reedy Creek shows got crazy, man. Like we were all diving into that stuff.
That was wild. It was wild.
Yeah.
I've never. Oh man, the amount of tabs I had open for that thing, that was just bizarre, crazy. Trying to get to the bottom of that, it was wild.
Like he was launching a rocket to the moon, bro. Like it was just like tabs on tabs.
By the way, Vash is showing off now because he has the B-roll ready to go on the Universal buses here. Oh, was that it? Yeah,
well, this is Epic Universe, but you'll see in this because it was the buses for Epic Universe. So the idea is we have set the stage and then there's the bus fire. So it's in there.
Good old bus fires. We got a couple more super chats here. We got Skywalker Brian for a 5. Look at that bus. Dang,
dude.
It said you should look up the KFC The Simpsons collab for their restaurants overseas in Europe. USA would easily soak it up if it did come here. LOL. I think I saw something about that on X, maybe flash forward, but I didn't look for it. But I'll see if I can find that. And then Xfoot sends a 50 over for Vash. Very good, sir. Thank you for everything. Very much enjoy the content. Well, there you go. Vash was challenged and he came through here. You may look at that KFC Simpsons, because if I remember right, it was weird looking. I didn't know. Yeah, here it is. I think it's like I thought it was a donut when I first saw it, but it's let's see. KFC is partnered with Disney for a new limited time collaboration inspired by The Simpsons, bringing a menu of full Springfield references. Is that a donut chicken sandwich?
Oh my God.
That looks like an abomination.
Diabetes right there, bro.
You better be near a toilet really quick.
Well, hey, and you don't want to be in Anaheim right now eating that thing either.
That's a good point.
I just ate the Simpsons thing. I gotta go.
No water.
You can't. We only have so much water. No. What are we gonna do?
There's a body of water right over here if you like.
No.
Horrible.
Oh, not the rivers. Not the rivers.
The poor rivers have been through enough that we need to add that to the mix here. But we also got another 5 from Ill Magic. Thank you, Ill Magic. You're being very generous this evening and on all the streams. It says, what other rides and set pieces should Universal and Islands of Adventure remove for something new? Now, that could be a very long conversation. I think Toon Lagoon is an area that is prime for something. I know it has its fan base to some degree, but I think if you look at those cartoons in that area, they were probably outdated when the park was built. So I think
would you retheme the Popeyes water ride thing?
That's the thing. I think you would just rethink, because those water rides have demand.
Right. Yeah, that one's pretty big. Yeah.
Yeah, you'll see like 50, 60, sometimes 70-minute waits for Bill Grap barges and the toboggan. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but there's plenty of demand for it. So I think if you retheme it to something, I've speculated One Piece, because you'd move so much merch.
Oh man,
yeah, right. Don't remove anything from Marvel area though, and then don't remove the Dr. Seuss stuff, because that brings the families to that park, right?
Yeah, and I don't honestly. Every once in a while it comes up. and I'm curious what you guys think. I don't think Universal's ever going to give up Marvel unless Disney is like, here's a massive check, because it's just it's worth keeping out of Disney's hands, and it's still an area that's pop. Every time I go in there, that land is packed.
Right. Yeah. Well, and I don't even think I don't even think Disney's in a hurry either, because Disney still gets a check from them to have it.
They do.
They get paid when you go to university, so it's like, I feel like both of them are kind of like in this like purgatory where it's like, okay, we're cool with how it is right now. And honestly, as they expand the MCU into other characters and stuff, Disney World can just use those other ancillary characters.
This could be a conspiracy theory. I think one of the reasons they tried so hard to push these other characters in the MCU was so they could do what they did with Guardians, is bring in characters to the theme park.
Yes, absolutely. And absolutely. Vash, I'm sorry, I cut you off, brother.
No, I was going to say, maybe there's a chance, perhaps, now that NBC Universal is out on its own kind of thing, and they're looking for reinvestment. Perhaps it's like, hey, that check maybe gets smaller, and maybe Disney's willingness to go forward with it might get larger, only because they're developing so many attractions for Adventures Campus. Is that possible?
I think it's definitely, that does bring an interesting wrinkle. It is possible that could happen, because I mean, if you look at, if you need money, and I guess my question would be, what would that price tag be? Like, I've heard stories over the years. A couple people from Universal told me, like, they've had discussions on this before. I'm like, how'd they go? And they're like, well, they left the meetings pretty quickly. So I was like, I don't know what Universal's asking for it. I don't even know where you'd begin to speculate what price that they would put on it. But if you're Universal, it's like, because like Disney wouldn't, if Disney got the rights to it like today, you wouldn't see anything in Disney World besides meet and greets for, at this point, all the construction going on, probably like a decade would be my guess. It would take them a long time before they would do anything with it. But still, that could be something that could turn around and bite you later on. So, and they have a sweetheart deal, because they signed that deal when Marvel was really hurting in the 90s. And so that thing is in perpetuity as long as Universal maintains the land to the specs of that contract. So there's really no way Disney can go in there, because I think they tried whenever they bought Marvel, and they have, and there's really no way to get out of that. So, I mean, other than that area and Ilmagic, another one, we'll talk about Marvel. I think you look at the Fear Factor stage building. I think you could do something with that with the show. They can still use for HHN.
Well, and the thing too with Toon Lagoon is, like, I think Universal's in a different spot than they were when they built IOA in '99, right? Where it's like Universal as a studio has really made a lot of ground with their own stuff. Like Illumination has a lot of hits since then. They own DreamWorks, so they have their own. They have a good catalog of cartoons of their own. That if they want to do a Toon Lagoon but just have new IP in there, they can do that, or they can do what you were saying, Jared, and do One Piece. I mean, that would absolutely crush.
Well, if you got Pokemon coming in there, if you had a side of that park with Pokemon and One Piece, dude, imagine the sales. And then you have the Wizarding World there too.
It's a wrap.
It would be nuts.
It's wild.
And then you got the Simpsons area. I think something happens with that. So I do think both sides of studios and islands looks very different in 10 years of the stuff that they will add in there. So that has to be, I've said this point before, it's got to be encouraging if you're Universal, because you made this much progress against Disney in a decade, and there's areas of your park that are really under, like, I would point to Toon Lagoon and just say, like, most people walk through and be like, what is this? And so they still have areas that they can really, like, bring in here. We talked to OG about DC. Maybe that was a lot of stuff toward the end of the year that they may have made a deal with Warner Brothers before the whole merger thing. You bring DC into the Universal parks. You got Marvel there. You got Nintendo. Like, you would have a heavy lineup of pop culture, like, I guess you could say icons that they would have as attractions in their park. So I think that there's a lot of areas that they could improve upon for sure. And Ilmagic with another 2 says, I think they should rebuild Marvel for a new look. They can't really, though.
Yeah, I can't touch
because to do it, you got to get approval from Marvel, which is owned by Disney, and they're never going to. I guess that would they have to? Like, would they have to? I don't know the exact specifications. My understanding is you would have to get the okay by Disney, and I feel like Disney could just blockade that whole thing if they wanted to. So you're basically just going to see refurbs for the most part. Nothing.
Yeah, and I agree with Ilmagic though. It does look dated. It looks very
But I
like
love that it's dated. I love that it's a time capsule.
Me too. I like the '90s stuff about
the
it.
90s comic vibe, right?
It's just sick. Yeah.
And I think with retro stuff, it actually fits now with
Right.
more timeless because it's like it's from the comics and from the cartoons that you grew up with, the Spider-Man and stuff like that. And I do imagine they kind of tease that on social media of showing a Doctor Doom that they have for a meet and greet. They're gonna have Doom in Islands whenever Doomsday comes out.
Yeah.
So they're gonna capitalize on Doomsday.
That'd
Yeah,
be smart. They had him before, didn't they? They had him
Yeah.
before.
They've had him sporadically, yeah. I haven't seen him in person for a long time, but I know they have the costume and he is in there. And Doom is awesome. And I know we can get to about Marvel. I really do think Marvel's squandering Doom because everything I'm hearing as well that RDJ eventually is going to come back as Iron Man,
Right.
which means that Doom was just gimmick casting. And I'm like, Doom's a better villain than Thanos. Like in the comics, Doom was the dude. Like you went against Doom, it was like you're screwed.
Well, I could see Doom, RDJ Doom versus RDJ Iron Man in Secret Wars. That would probably,
dude, I think Secret Wars is going to get wild.
yeah.
Some of those numbers that they have said about the amount of people in Secret Wars is
Right.
Yeah. I guess we'll see. I hope those movies are good. I have my hesitation about them, but they're going to make they're going to make money at the box office. I think the budgets might prohibit them from making a profit, but they're definitely going to do at least. I wouldn't be shocked if they did $2 billion. To be
Right. I lucked out. I got the Amazon Prime ticket for Spider-Man Brand New Day, so I get to see it tomorrow at 4.
Really?
Yeah. So Wednesday, a lot of the content creators saw it yesterday, and they dropped their review out today. But I don't think the embargo lifted until Thursday to speak on. Maybe the embargo lifts tomorrow, but
it's probably Thursday.
I'm thinking we're getting the Peter Parker Spider-Man hand through the dirt symbiote thing at the end. I think Peter Parker is going to die, and I think it's going to be symbiote Spider-Man for the 2 Avengers movies.
Yeah.
This is my guess. Yeah.
So we'll wrap up here soon, but I think they're going to go with Man Spider, which gets weird.
That will be in it. I'm just saying this is at the end.
I know, but my whole thing is
Man Spider's scary.
If they do Man Spider they did in the comics, people are going to be like, what the hell is this?
What is Man Spider? I am intrigued.
It's like
instead of Spider-Man,
right?
It's him, but like human, like spider version. But human.
It's like he's continued to transform, and it's like he becomes a stronger, like it's a really weird thing, but it gets really, really interesting. They lifted the bar to this point. Interesting. Okay.
Thank you.
I think Spider-Man, I mean, the pre-sale tickets are crazy. I actually think that's going to be pretty good. I'm going to go see it on Thursday.
Okay.
So I'm very curious. I hope it's really good. I think it will be good. I love Bernthal's Punisher in there. I heard there's a scene of Spider-Man and Punisher fighting Hulk, and I'm like, give me that all day long. That would be a cool scene.
That's peak.
I love that, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm hoping they add Doctor Doom into that Avengers ride we're getting out here in DCA.
They should.
Yeah,
They could.
They should. I mean, I think that would be the move. Obviously, they're going to do the King Thanos thing still, but I think it would be cool to have a Doom, at least a cameo, right? I mean, come on.
Yeah. Do you know who that was going to play? They had the running to play Doom, which I would have loved, was Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh,
you remember?
nice.
You know who he is?
But then
He's the guy from Casino Royale. He's a great actor.
he was already the villain in Doctor Strange, the first one, right?
Yeah, but I mean, there's been RDJ was Iron Man. You know what I mean? But no, that would have been like him as Doom would be. Oh, dude, I love Doom. I've said for a lot when they had Kang as the main villain. I'm like, Kang has never been a big villain. He never. Like he was a guy. Like it might be a 2-episode thing where you beat him, but he never was a Thanos or a Doom. So when they were trying to push Kang, I was like, Kang's not, like he's not a big bad. So I don't know. I'm curious about it. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. But we got plenty of things we'll talk about next week. I'll work out with Tommy here. We'll talk about some HHN stuff on a live stream coming up. We'll get OG on there. Vash, are you into HHN that much? I don't know if that's your bag too much.
I'm not like a super expert on it. Obviously, I love the craft. I love the event itself. There's no question about that. But there are some amazing HHN guys out there that break down like when exactly these houses are being constructed, where they actually are, and all that. I'm not that far into it, but obviously have mad respect for the craft.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. So, yeah, if you want to be on when we do that stream, if you want to be on it, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, let's do it. We all should hop on us for when the whole Orlando thing drops. So if we get that last one,
I think I heard we're gonna get that last house this week. So we'll probably do it next week. So
Hollywood, we know all the houses for Hollywood. We just only have 5 announced. But we know the other 3. It's just we're waiting. So yeah, I'm down. Definitely.
Osborne. Excuse me.
Yeah, right.
Sorry about
Going off the rails on a crazy train.
He's gonna jump in the water. Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it. All right, we'll wrap up here this evening. So, by the way, you guys in the chat, thank you guys so much. You guys have been great. It's been really fun hanging with you guys. And you guys have been very, very generous. And it is never. It's never expected, always appreciated. So thank you very much, everybody that sent some super chats and just interacted with the chat. But we had Ill Magic dropped a bunch, got Rock Blazer, got Connor Dash, got X Voot bringing in. He even quizzed Vash and
Hidden Village.
Yeah, Hidden Village.
Hidden Geek Village. Thank you.
Yeah, Red Bandana Gaming. I don't want to miss anybody here. Skywalker Brian and Juliet as well. Yes. So thank you guys very, very much. Greatly appreciate it. Before we get out of here, let everybody know where they can find you and your lovely wares on the internet. So Orange Grove 55, thank you for being here as always. And where can everybody find you?
Hey, you guys are awesome. I love you guys. This is a lot of fun. And Vash, I think you have a thank you very much drop on your Roadcaster, don't you? If I'm not mistaken.
Oh, I think I do actually.
Thank you very much.
That's an oldie but goodie. That one never gets old. But I want to thank Tommy, Vash, Jared for hanging out today. Everybody in the chat, thank you so much for all the support and the great comments. You can find me right here on YouTube, Orange Grove 55, talking theme park, studio, financials with Seymour, everything over here at Orange Grove 55, Instagram, Orange Grove 55, and also on the dreaded X. Orange Grove 55.
Where you go to fight with people about having a good day. They're like,
actually, oh yeah, I love fighting over with people over whatever it is. Right? It's great, right? Yeah. No, actually, that's why I left. Actually, in all seriousness, that's why I left. I left Twitter for like a year, bro. It was like the best thing I ever did.
Honestly, it's good to take a break every once in a while.
It's toxic.
Yeah, you get back in there and you're just like, this place is a mess. I'm just gonna go outside and hang out and touch some grass a little bit. But let's go also as well. Vash Sky, Mr. Vash Sky growing channel here. Thank you very much for being here. Love having Vash on, and honestly brought the production value of this show up tenfold. So
yes,
it's been great. Where can they all find you? And you have a stream tomorrow. I think I know your schedule now. You have a stream tomorrow.
Yes. 2 p.m. Eastern. After that Park Place right there, we've got our stream talking about probably, certainly Rivers of America. I think that story is just really, really unique. But also, too, I guess we're talking about some restrooms and some water issues plaguing the Disneyland Resort. That's a pretty crazy thing right there. Apparently happening over the course of like 12 hours or something. Wild stuff. I'll have more details and everything about that and more. But, Disney also talked about reimagining the classics and so forth and how they're, using all of this data in order to inform their decision-making right there. Very interesting stuff in the context of Carousel of Progress and maybe, I don't know, did it happen? Did it not happen? The Haunted Mansion, all those things. We'll talk about that and so much more tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern right there. Join us, Vash Guy Parkcast. Thank you so much for having me on, fellas. Very much appreciate that. Jared, Tommy Toon, OG, thank you so much. And everybody in the chat, you guys are awesome.
By the way, when I saw that about the data, I was like, is the data in the room with us now? Because I feel like it's just something you just put in a spreadsheet. Look at the data we have. And you're like, nah, okay. Well, real quick before Tommy gets out of here, John was asking here, how does the Amazon Prime Video early ticket thing work?
Okay, well, it was June 17th. They had dropped the availability for the tickets, and you would sign in through your Amazon Prime, and it would direct you to Fandango. And there's probably one time per theater So it was probably just one theater showing. Whatever theater was sponsored by Amazon at the time. But luckily, I was going to work that day, so I was up before everyone. So I was able to get that puppy. So, yes, I will be seeing Symbiote Spider-Man one day before you. But I don't even know if that's a thing. There's no spoilers. I don't know. I didn't see the movie. It's just a joke. I'm telling everybody this is what's going to happen, okay? Because Zendaya came out in an all-black dress that looked like Venomized, right? And usually she wears something that hints at the next character coming. And she even wore something that was like Dr. Negative or Mr. Negative related, just like in the video game. So you never know who we're going to get. I mean, they said the Spider-Man movie is going to have the most villains in it it's ever had.
Tommy's got deep lore here with Zendaya's dresses revealing. Yeah, I like it.
Man, I could talk about Marvel all day too, man. Yeah, Marvel.
One of these days we need to do a stream because I have way too much. I grew up reading the comics and I watch the movies and I'm just like, they're not doing that right. Well, I'm that guy.
No, you're right.
I got mad. Okay, we'll get out. I'll let Tommy enter. But we back in the day, X-Men Last Stand. Remember Juggernaut in that movie?
Yeah.
Juggernaut is not a mutant. Okay, his helmet is magic, and in the movie, there's this mutant girl that can stop other mutants, and she stopped Juggernaut. And in the movie theater, I went, "That's bull!" And I started yelling. My buddy was like, "What is wrong with you?" I'm like, "He's not a mutant," and I'm just screaming, and I'm like, "I'm that guy."
I quit, man. I quit.
Yeah, I'm like, this is ridiculous. All right, this giant man is not a mutant. But anyways, Tommy, thank you for being here. We will do maybe we'll do a Marvel stream one of these days and break all this stuff down when some of these movies come out.
Marvel, horror, all of them, man. Thank you guys for having me on. I love hanging out with you guys, man. You fellas, OG, Jared, Vash Sky, Theme Parkin'. It's a legendary show. Keep it rolling, keep it rocking. Love the production on it. I love to join in. Like you said, the time caught up to us, but maybe we'll do a Halloween one because that's, I'm itching for that always. There's something about you guys, man, in the show. You guys just keep it locked in. You guys could probably do more than one a week. So, yeah, just stay motivated, keep pumping out that good quality content. But, hey, speaking of quality content, I finally got a big hitter on my YouTube page. I got the Resident Evil Takeover in Vegas, Horror Unleashed. That thing's at like 11, almost 12K views. Dang. A lot of engagement, a lot of views. Hopefully you guys enjoy that more if you like Resident Evil. Then, I have some steakhouse reviews coming for Vegas. I went on the top of the Rio Casino, 50th floor, went to High Stakes Restaurant, then that One Piece Cafe video. So they're all coming out on TommyToon_world. That's on YouTube. And then, of course, like I said earlier, IG and TikTok, TommyToon_. I'm going to Midsummer, going to D23, going to the first day of Oogie Boogie. I'm going to HHN. Stay locked in for sure.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, Tommy's your guy for food, HHN stuff. Absolutely. So go check him out. And Tommy and I did a video reviewing the Animal Kingdom ice cream sandwich. So I was a little off my rocker, I guess, in those videos. I haven't done one of those in a while, but maybe it'll come back when we hang out next, Absolutely, yeah. And if you do come to HHN, holler at me because if you come to Orlando, because I'll make an extra trip out there and maybe we'll get. I saw Red Bandana in here. Maybe we'll get Red Bandana to go too. So go.
Let's do it. You know what? If I had a hat though, I might actually have one. We could do the Tommy exit. We could all throw our hats down and walk off.
Boy.
I don't know. I got a hat.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I just threw the hat down as my thing, and then I was like, I didn't go to the level that Tommy did, but it worked. It was a good video.
It works.
It'd be a pretty great little ending to the show,
I like it. All right, well, we're gonna get out of here, but it's been great. Thank you guys again. Absolutely. And if you're watching on some of these other streams, you can find me at Cap the Magic. I do daily videos talking very similar things to like OG and Vash, talking theme parks and entertainment and some of the financials and things like that. And then if you do want to know more about the Universal Kids Resort, go check out CTM Podcast. My wife and I, we have a full, probably almost an hour-long review of that, what we thought about that park on the episode that came out today. So if you want to go check that out. We do also just, if you're going to the parks, kind of more nitty-gritty about how to have a better trip and stuff like that. So we break all that down a little bit more there. But you can find me there and all that good stuff. So it's been great. Love having you guys on. But thank you guys in the chat again. Thank you guys for every super chats and everything like that. And we will see you guys on the next one. OG, you going to throw your hat?
I'll throw my hat here.
Throw your hat. Just throw it down.
That was lit.